right, we should be going live here pretty soon. Check, check. Hopefully let me hit the go live button. There we go. And we are live. Thank y'all for joining me tonight on ABL Live. I appreciate you for being here. After the last stream was rudely interrupted, we are back. Ain't nothing stopping. We're going to be resuming things as usual. And I appreciate y'all for being here. We got quite a few topics on deck for tonight. The whole thing with El Paso and Dayton, Ohio has created a firestorm of sorts. Gun control seems to be the main topic on hand. Red flag laws, assault weapons bans, magazine bans, all kind of different things. Did you guys see the video I did about the Democratic Socialist of America convention? That was pretty crazy, if I do say so myself. These people were nutty, but like I said in the video, don't sleep on them. These people could go into government and really ruin your life. So don't sleep. Yes, they were crazy, but also could be very powerful. The whole horse fiasco. People are getting upset because a black man was guided through the streets while his handcuffs were tethered to a guy that was on the horse holding the rope. What should have happened? Or you got to have special treatment for the black guy, although that practice had been done in that same department for years and years and years. Isn't that racist? And also Tucker Carlson versus liberal Twitter and other folks who believe in the white man and white supremacy being the real issue. We'll talk about all those things and more on tonight's episode of ABL Live. And again, thank y'all for joining. I most certainly appreciate you. 100%. Yes, jazz hands, everybody. So nobody gets offended. Nobody gets triggered. Everybody do jazz hands. and I think everybody will be okay. If we can get the jazz hands going, hey, that'll just make everybody feel all right. But thank y'all for being here. I most certainly appreciate it. You could be anywhere in the world, but you're right here with me. And I really, really appreciate you for that. We got quite a few things on topic on deck for today. And thank y'all for joining. If you're just now coming into the stream, please hit the like button. I'd really appreciate it. 100%. We got quite a few of you in here already. Point of personal point of personal privilege. Point of personal privilege. Hey, thank y'all. I got a lot of you guys' comments on the post I made about the incident that happened last stream. I appreciate y'all, but everything's cool. You know, I talked to the officer, and you know, now I got a friend in the police department. I got a sergeant friend. They all cool. Everybody's cool, so it's all good over here. Alrighty. Yeah. What if the person is blind doing jazz hands? Then what? You know, what's going to be next? Alrighty. No whispering. I'm highly sensitive. Hilarious. Alrighty. Now, I'm going to just talk about the incident that happened last stream right quick, and I probably won't talk about it no more because it's like an open case, so I can't really say too much. Now, last stream, what happened was somebody called the police on me with a false claim talking about somebody was tied up and bleeding, this, that, and the third. So I guess the objective was to get them to come do a SWAT, like, you know, run into my house, but that didn't really happen. The police did come to the door and knocked. They just were very polite. I was able to come outside. They had their guns drawn, yes, but I just, you know, got on the ground for 2 minutes. They swept the house, and then that was pretty much it. But they had to keep coming back to ask me questions and to do the police report. But everything's good. Everything's fine. And it is an open case. So whoever did that could be facing some federal charges. But that's pretty much all that there is to it. There was a stream up. I put it on private, so it didn't get deleted. You know, I saw that floating around. They were saying that the stream got deleted. I put it on private because I don't want to have too much attention be on that. And so the police, if they need it, they can have it. So it's on private, but it's not deleted. Maybe I'll unprivate it one day, but not right now since the case is open. But that's pretty much all that it is. It ain't nothing else to it. I'm going to just jump straight into the news here. Now, El Paso and Dayton. That's what I'm going to talk about right now. El Paso and Dayton, Ohio. People are saying that Donald Trump is responsible for what happened in these shootings. But really, there's nobody to blame. In the El Paso shooting, there is a so-called manifesto floating around. And the manifesto had some language that Trump used, but it's a lot of language that a lot of us used. The whole thing about invasion. I mean, I've said invasion. That's not an uncommon thing to say about the southern border crisis. I mean, what do you call it when you got thousands of people coming across the border all the time? That's just a logical thing to say. That doesn't mean that since I call out a thing for what it is, that I'm going to, somehow be an extremist or do anything to hurt anybody. That does not mean that at all. It simply means that I'm just calling it how I see it, and that's it. So they're trying to equate that to Trump. The first thing is that quote unquote manifesto has not been confirmed to come from the actual shooter. They were saying that it was posted on 8chan by the guy. But the owner of 8chan came out and said that he did not post it. It was posted at a later date, and law enforcement knows that. He may have written it and maybe posted it on Instagram or something like that, but it was not posted on 8chan. So the question is, who posted it to 8chan? Who wrote it? Is it authentic? We really don't know. The authorities are still trying to figure out if the manifesto is authentic or not. How do you really know if it is or if it isn't? But let's just say that it is. There's nothing in there about Trump specifically. I mean, so that whole thing, that whole narrative is just false. However, in the Dayton, Ohio situation, the guy was clearly a fan of Pocahontas, did not like Kamala Harris. Like, he was specifically saying who he liked, who he didn't like. He followed certain people online that was able to be tracked. So if you're going to blame Donald Trump for the El Paso shooting, where Donald Trump was not mentioned, where common language was used to describe a certain thing, then if you're going to blame Trump for that, then why not blame the Democrats for what happened in Dayton? I say that no politician is to blame here. You got people that are just crazy. Okay, that's just pretty much what it is. You got crazy people that have mental problems. It's simple. I've seen pictures of the guys, and I will not post them here because I'm not trying to give these guys the fame that they may be looking for. But their pictures look the exact same. I'm talking like identical. Look, they could all be related. They could all be brothers and live in the same house, grouped together. Everything is like the same profile. So obviously there's some kind of bond in between them. Not necessarily like they know each other, but I'm talking about a common thread that exists, similarities that exist in between these people that would make them go out here and do a thing like what they did. It's very simple. It ain't really nothing else to it, but I think that should be where we focus our energy on rather than trying to say what politician did what. Let's look at these individuals and see what's going on with them. Why did they do what they do? All right. That's what it really is. And Tucker Carlson was correct to talk about white supremacy as a hoax and not really a real thing. The whole idea behind white supremacy is they're trying to scare you. They're trying to make you think a thing is a certain way when it is really not. They want you to believe in white supremacy because it'll scare you. It'll make you more prone to, what do I want to say? It'll make you more prone to be in favor of gun control, be in favor of gun confiscation, be in favor of so-called compromising on certain laws, red flag laws, et cetera, et cetera. Even Trump said he was in favor of a red flag law, and I'm not. I understand that in some cases it may help, like with the shooter in Parkland, Florida. I won't say his name, but you guys know who he is. This guy had been visited by the police over and over and over again. He was a known nuisance, but I think the sheriff's department or somebody, law enforcement in Florida, came out and said there was no actual crime to get him on. So what are you going to do? What can you do to a man who was not committed a crime to prevent a mass shooting? You know that he has problems. You know there's red flags there, but what are you going to do? He's not committed a crime. You can't violate his rights. So people said that they should have done something and they dropped the ball. Well, what could they have done? Maybe I'm ignorant to all the laws that are in Florida that may have already existed that could have been used in that situation. But if there are no laws that could have been actually taken advantage of, or any laws that he has violated, then how do you actually prevent that mass shooting from happening? It's very hard to do so. So the red flag laws in that case may have made sense, but we all know that the red flag laws are going to be abused. People are going to have false allegations against them. You know, your enemies, people that you don't like, what happened to me with the whole swatting situation, that's gonna happen. So how do you decrease the circumstances upon which that, like, how do you decrease the number of times that would be abused? How do you decrease it from being, how do you eliminate abuse altogether is what I'm trying to say. How can you really stop that? Would the abuse of the red flag law be more damaging than preventing people from being able to have guns that shouldn't have them, that are obviously mentally ill? You understand what I'm saying? Because there are plenty of times where a person needs to get a gun pretty quickly. Somebody's stalking them, somebody's endangering them, whatever the case may be. You know, you got these women out here living alone by themselves in the city. They got a crazy stalker that follows them home. The police can't really help. What are you going to do? You want to get a gun legally quickly, but then they got to jump through hoops. They may have been on some kind of pain medication 6 months ago, and then they said you might still have them. You might be a danger to yourself. You might still be on opiates, so we want to let you get a gun. Okay, so she could be put into the whole red flag law thing, or the so-called stalker could call the police on her and say that she's a danger to prevent her from being able to get a gun to protect herself against him. So how do you deal with that, the abuse of the law? That's my concern, and I know that the law will be abused. So that's the main issue with that. But back to what I was saying, to the point I was making from the beginning about white supremacy. They're trying to push this whole thing about white supremacy because people are going to get scared, and they're going to be more likely to be in favor of bipartisan gun control, gun laws, what they call it, common sense gun laws, all this, that, and the third. The reality is that white supremacy, what they're talking about, this prevalence of it, this omnipotent force, it's not real. It's a hoax. I mean, when you go outside every day, is white supremacy the top of your list of things to be concerned about in reality? You know, if you listen to the mainstream media and the internet, you may say yes. But in reality, it's just not the case. We're not worried about that. You're more worried about, you know, how you're going to pay your bills, how you're going to get to work, how you're going to take care of your kids, how you're going to take care of yourself, your health, your wealth, happiness, you know, your significant other, family members. You're not worried about white supremacy, okay? If you're living in a dangerous area, are you concerned about guys in KKK robes coming with, you know, so-called assault rifles and hurting you? You're not worried about that. People try to say that El Paso is a dangerous place because of the incident that happened at the mall. Now, while that was very unfortunate, and may they rest in peace and prayers out to the family, El Paso is still a very safe place. You can't judge the city based upon one isolated incident. The guy wasn't even from there. Why did he go from Dallas, Texas to El Paso? Some said, oh, it's because it has a high Hispanic population. Well, Texas is right there anyway. So why El Paso specifically? You know, obviously there's something else going on here that I don't really know about. And I think that people need to just save judgment until more information is known. And a prime example of saving your judgment is this whole thing with the guy on the horse. I mean, have you guys seen that picture? I'm gonna see if I can pull it up right quick. I mean, this whole thing was so just blown out of proportion. I mean, it was truly a nothing burger if I ever seen one in my life. I mean, really, for real. Hold on, Google changed the way they do this. Let me see if I can pull it up. Okay, there we go, perfect. Now, here's the situation. You have black guy right here. He's arrested. He has handcuffs on behind his back, and you have two officers on horses. They're both white, obviously. And there's a little rope right here. This rope is connected to his handcuffs, not to his wrists or his neck or his back or his legs, to his handcuffs. And he's being guided down the street. Now, it's kind of hard to see, but they're walking down the street, you know. And this is done for the safety of everybody involved, including the suspect. You know, I mean, some people say you got to wait for a squad car, but the actual practice in the department had been for a long time to do this. The practice was not to go get a squad car or wait for a squad car, all this, that, and the third. The practice was this. If you're on a horse, you're doing horse patrol, you catch somebody doing something they shouldn't be doing, you go ahead and cuff them and guide them to the nearest location to get them down to the precinct, get them processed or whatever the case may be. You can't put them on the horse because you're in too close proximity to the officer, and that could be dangerous. He can bite you. He could fall off the horse, and some things could happen that you don't want. You don't want him to get in front. Now he has control of the horse. You can't necessarily just no, I'm not really sure what they call it when they park the horse, but you can't just leave the horse tied up somewhere like it's Red Dead Redemption and then go walk, get a car, come back. It's just too much. This is the safest way to do it, but people say, oh, it's bad optics. Well, so what? I mean, anything is bad optics to the left, just like the whole thing with kids in cages, right? The cages had been there for a long time under one Barack Obama. Nobody said anything, but now all of a sudden it's a bad thing. It's inhumane, it's that, and the third, when in reality, the quote unquote cages make sense from a logistics point of view. You got a lot of people in one place at one time. You want to be able to have them quartered off for everyone's safety, the men, the women, the children. You don't want a bunch of grown men who you don't know, you know, they could be having HIV, all this, that, and the third. You don't want to have them in the same space with children or women. They could be abusing the children or the women. The guards may not be able to catch it. It's a way to effectively intake people and get them processed to wherever they got to go. Same thing with the single unit toilet and sink combination. It's a way to save on water and space. And they do that all across every jail and penitentiary in the US of A. But all of a sudden, it's a problem now because you got illegal aliens doing that, using these facilities, and the people who are pro-illegal alien want them to have the best of the best. They want them to basically be housed in Trump Tower, New York, and just live like kings and queens, when in reality, they're breaking the law. You have criminal law breakers, regardless of what. People said, oh, you got kids, so what? You got kids in juvenile facilities. Do you know that in the Commonwealth of Virginia, you can get charged as an adult at age 14? You can be charged as an adult at age 14 in Virginia. Now, I'm not trying to hear nothing about a 14-year-old being put into a quote-unquote cage when they came over here unattended, probably with drugs on them, boofed up them, whatever you want to call it, and also trying to, you know, access other family members, game bangers. You got young game bangers too, don't get it twisted. You know, some of these MS-13 cats, 12 years old, 13 years old, a lot of so-called children, you never know who they are. So it's effective. It makes sense. But, you know, people just want to be upset because of how it looks. So should I just change the way that my department does a thing because this particular race group is going to be upset? So does every race group have an ability to file a grievance such as that? Could you be a white person and say, well, I feel like this is racist because the Irish were slaves too, and we got drugged behind horses too by the federales trying to come scoop us up and bring us back to the plantation, to the master. So should I say that this is inappropriate for me? The optics look bad because I was white. Ain't nobody trying to hear that. Nobody cares if it was a white man being pulled by another white man on the horse only because the person is black. Now, what if the mounted officers were black? And you do have mounted officers that are black all over the US of A, but especially in Texas. You got them there on Galveston Island. So what should be done with that situation? Should you just, you know, like, is it a race-based thing? And how are you going to determine each time a race-based thing is going to offend someone? All right. Is it going to be a book that they got to keep with them? Man, the police out there, they're trying to do police work. They ain't really trying to be having all these new ways of being trained, all this, that, and the third. They're just trying to fight crime effectively, respond to complaints effectively. As simple as that. It ain't nothing else to it. Okay. Point of personal privilege. Shout out to you, Robert Lewis. And that video was crazy from the DSA. I mean, I just, you know, you see this on Twitter a lot of language they were using, but it's really surreal to see it happen in real life. Right. It's a crazy thing to actually happen, to see them say such things just live like it ain't nothing. Point of personal privilege and my pronouns, he, him, and you got to do jazz hands, you know, all that good stuff. It's really kind of crazy to see, but I can't say I'm surprised. You know, a lot of these kids have grown up like that, and that's pretty much all they know from a young age. You got their parents putting them on drugs. So already from the beginning, they're developmentally disabled because their parents are not doing the correct thing. Now, sometimes, giving the parents credit, they have been told things that are improper by medical professionals, which, in my humble opinion, shouldn't be done anymore. I'm not going to say medical malpractice because who's teaching the medical professionals? Is it done intentionally or is it just the way that modern medicine is taught? I don't really know, but I digress. The whole point is that somebody is to blame for putting these kids on drugs. So they're zombified. They're not able to run around and get dirty and have fun like children should. They're pretty much zombified, and that goes throughout their teenage years. And by the time they get off of the drugs and try to go into adulthood, they can't. Drug use spikes as a result. So you got a lot of these people, especially like Antifa, they're all on drugs. They're all crazy as cat, you know what. And then things like what you saw at the DSA happen, or when you go to the extreme of a DSA and Antifa, people actually get hurt. Okay. They said that the shooter in Dayton, Ohio had gone to an Antifa rally with the same rifle he had in the shooting. I don't know if that's true or false, but if it were true, I would not be surprised at all. It would make sense. It's a pattern you can see coming. Okay. It's simple as that. Oh, Darth Vader, the whole thing was crazy. This ma'am in Canada decided to get on this whole civil rights crusade because what's the proper pronouns here? They were born as a male, now identify as female, and I'm not buying a female impersonation. I'm sorry. You know, somebody like Blair White, okay, that's kind of convinced that you might be able to like, oh, okay, that might look like a woman a little bit. Still a man, got them big hands. But anyway, this person here looking like Peter Griffin with a dress on. You understand what I'm saying? Family Guy all day long. I wonder where Lois and Meg are, but again, I digress. Matter of fact, he looks kind of like a mashup between Peter and Chris, but again, I digress. This guy's talking about, well, you got to be able to render me the services. If I want a Brazilian wax, you got to be able to do it. But I was like, sir, you want a Brazilian wax, but you still get your twig and berries. You still have your male genitalia. So you shouldn't be able to force somebody to wax your stuff. You understand what I'm saying? At a certain point, that's called rape. But you're using the laws to try to go around that. The society that we live in has become litigious, but that was in Canada. So that's not here in the States. But at a certain point in time, I would not be surprised if that hit the States because the whole bake the cake thing happened here in the States, if I'm not mistaken. I think that was in Colorado. So the next step is, well, look, I'm a woman. Hear me roar. I still got my Johnson. I need you to go ahead and wax that. What's up? I identify as not having a Johnson, even though I got one. So what you going to do? And what you like, what are you going to do? You're going to say, no, I mess around and get sued out of business? That shouldn't be happening. So this is part of the reason why the left are losing the debate nationally. They can win in some of these crazy pockets they have governed for a very long time without much opposition, but they're losing the debate nationally and they're losing some of the support that they have in some of these actual districts upon which they have had extreme dominance for a long period of time. Like me, when I was in Virginia, I was living in a very Democratic area, but I dissented. So if you got enough people that are like that, the vote in the entire state can go a different direction. That's like Florida and other places. You got swing states, so you can be like that. Okay. But these crazy people are forcing us to just abandon the left. I left the left like 2011, 2012, and it's gotten crazier since then. Like I saw it happening. I was like, man, y'all are crazy. The policies aren't effective. I got to go. I got to bounce. And people are like that. They're leaving the left every single day. Every day they're leaving. They feel emboldened. It is what it is. So, yeah, the whole situation is crazy. What's going on right now in the country. I'm just glad y'all are here and supporting. And if you're just now coming into the stream, please give me a thumbs up. I'd appreciate it. This is a call-in show. I get to the calls in a little while. You see the number right there on a little ticker, but it's also in the description box if I'm not mistaken. If it's not there, I'll go ahead and add it for you right quick. Let me see if it's there. Yeah, there it is. All right, so shout out to everybody who has donated so far. I appreciate it. Okay, Liam says, ABL, I agree. The idea of throwing antipsychotics and antidepressants can't be a cure-all. What is your opinion on how to handle those that show mental instability? Well, that's a broad question. I'll answer it the best I can pretty quickly. You got to identify what's going on from a young age. See, a lot of these people that have mental problems, they are, it comes from a childhood that's messed up. So you got to be able to get these people early and identify any kind of negative behavior and try to correct it then. But as far as anybody else, I don't know, seek therapy and have a general society that does not embolden mental illness. Don't the school teacher shouldn't be entertaining some of this stuff. All right. If you think that you are a different gender other than what you are, at a certain point, there might be mental illness. So it shouldn't be like entertained saying, all right, well, you are an attack helicopter and I'm going to use your pronouns, rat, tat, tat, tat. Okay, that's not what you are. You are a human being, and that's what it's going to be. I will not play along with your game. That has to be kind of the approach we take. So, but thank you for the question. And shout out to G. Carjalo, who says, Dayton, good town, good folk. Tornadoes came first, scared me that night, then this. Bless all affected by both. Yes. Rest in peace to all those who passed away in Dayton. Shout out to you, my man, G. Carjalo. I appreciate you. And shout out to Monster Blood XO, who says we better start all applying to Hogwarts when they ban guns since they think some magical powers are going to stop an evildoer. Exactly. Everybody apply to Hogwarts right now. Get your magic game up because you're going to need it coming up here pretty soon. Thank you for your donation. Definitely appreciate you. Thank you to Mandatory Carry, who says mandatory carry saves lives. Gun control kills. Sorry, I'm at work right now. Hey, I'm with you on that. 100%. 1000%. Being able to carry your weapon can definitely save your life. Shout out to Kevin Duggan, who says, oh, I ain't going to read that because I talked to him and it's all good. But thank you for your donation. Definitely appreciate you. And shout out to everybody else. Thank you to Julie Nelson for your donation. She says, love y'all. Thank you. Well, I thank you for your donation. Definitely appreciate it. And shout out to everybody in the chat. If you're just now coming in, please give me a thumbs up. I'd appreciate it if you did. That'll help me out tremendously. Share the video as well. And if you are not subscribed to the channel, I don't know what you're waiting on. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button right now and click the bell right beside it. When you click that bell, that'll be a notification bell. So whenever I go live or post a new video, you should be notified. It might work. Maybe it won't. I don't know, but try it anyway. I'd appreciate it. All right. And thank you to my man, Bill from the Hills. If you guys want some cool merch, if you want some of these hats and whatnot, click that link right there from my man, Bill from the Hills. I'd appreciate it if you did. I got all kind of stuff. I got We the People. I got the 1776 logo shirts. Like I have that logo right there, the 1776 with the star feel around it. I have that on a shirt by itself. I have a flag similar to that right there on a hat. So I got all that stuff, and I'm going to be putting out more stuff. I am a graphic designer, so I make all this stuff, so I can do stuff pretty quick, turn it and burn it, and get it rocking and rolling. Hanging AZ, you right, though. Everybody's Democrats to start making money. When you get into adulthood and you realize what's going on and what responsibilities you have, all that Democrat stuff kind of go out the window. It goes out the window. You realize what is a situation that you got to do. All right. So thank you to everybody that's in here. I'm going to read some of the comments right quick before we get to the calls. All right. Yeah, that DSA situation was crazy. I mean, but like I said, don't sleep on these people. The DSA convention had a lot of crazies in it, but these people, I think AOC and Rashida Tlaib are members, or at least they spoke at the convention. I think they're both members, though. And DSA actually helped them get into office. Not only DSA, but Justice Democrats. They're all kind of the same, in my humble opinion. Let me see. Let me see. I see a donation right here. Shout out to Chart Data, who says, do you think mass shooters are misunderstood? That's a good question, and I'm not really sure. I think that I'm not sure if misunderstood is the correct word to use. I think that it's not a lot known about them. So you could say misunderstood, but I don't want that to be in a sympathetic way because it's not like that. I think that we don't know enough about these people. And since we don't know enough, we're just kind of throwing things out there, mental illness and, all this, that, and the third. But it could be something that is a little bit deeper, that is a tie that binds all of them together. And if we're able to discover what that tie is and we're able to get to the root cause of what makes that be, then we can have some headway and stop some things like this from happening in the future. That's what I think. So misunderstood, maybe not necessarily on a personal level, but I think we just don't know a lot about these individuals and why they do what they did. So thank you for your donation. Definitely appreciate it. Bernie Sanders needs to be on meds. Nah, Bernie Sanders is just old. That's all that is. It ain't nothing else really. He's just an old guy. Let me see. All right. Hey William, you can email me if you can. I'll try to get back to you as soon as possible. But my email is blowing up. My phone has just been like off the chain as of late for a lot of different reasons. But I thank you for your question. But email me that. The email's on my website, contact@anthonyblogan.com. That is ANTHONY, the letter B, LOGAN.com. Now, let's see, what else we got here? The rapper 10,000 says, I heard that black people are mad that Trump supporters are cleaning up Baltimore and the rat problem there. It's not just black folks. It's mostly the liberal media. The Baltimore Sun, they were kind of upset about it, talking about, oh, was it more here? Is there a deeper motive? First of all, it doesn't even really matter if there was a deeper motive. It don't matter if they were trying to get attention, if they were trying to get on TV. It don't matter. The point is that they did it. Somebody got to do it. If the city ain't going to do it, if the neighbors can't do it for whatever the reason may be, and you got guys that support Trump to come from out of town to do it, what's the problem? Be like, thank you, I appreciate it. Why criticize? If you're going to criticize, then you do what they did. Don't be like, oh, don't come to Baltimore and clean up. Well, you're not going to clean up. So you rather the streets stay dirty, stay filthy than have somebody come clean up. Now, of course, it's going to require some maintenance now because tomorrow it could be right back dirty, but at least they made an effort. You got people that live there that aren't making the effort. The city who's getting paid to come clean it up, they're not making the effort. So, people are just crazy. It's all about just hate for the right from the left. As simple as that. It ain't nothing else really to it. Hey, people may not want to clean up. Everybody, it's not for everybody. I'm not going to clean up myself because I didn't make the mess. But if somebody wants to do it, I say hats off to you. Bravo. Go do it. Hey man, if like I never heard in my life somebody being mad that somebody cleaned up a mess. Like, how are you mad at that? If you don't want to do it, that's okay. That's fine. But if somebody else wants to do it, then that's fine too. It's just like, I'm not really going to go down and help out a homeless shelter with handing out food. Maybe I'll do that in the future. I'm the kind of guy, I like to donate canned goods and clothes and stuff like that. I don't really have time to be down there actually putting the soup into the bowl. I'd rather just give you the canned goods and the clothes and stuff like that. Non-perishable items that you can use every day. I go to the little depository by the Wally World and drop off clothes all the time. Shoes, clothes, whatever that I owe or in pretty good condition. I ain't trying to sell it. It's like, here, somebody can use that. That's what I do. But I'm not really going to be down there pouring soup into the bowl. But if you want to do that, then go for it. I'm not going to be like, no, don't do that. That's crazy. It doesn't make any sense. Why would I be against that? Let everybody donate or help however they want to help. That's as simple as that. Oh, hey, demonic. Listen. When they were in Baltimore, I was like, yo, where's the hazmat gear? Sir, you out here with cowboy boots in your bare hands. You're going to need some durable gloves that can't get punctured with heroin needles, boss, because let's not get it confused. Baltimore is most certainly a drug capital. A lot of heroin floats through them streets. You're going to have needles all over the place. It ain't like San Francisco because I'm not sure if it's not like an attractive place to be for homeless people, but San Fran is. People travel from other places, other states in the country to go be homeless and use drugs in San Fran. So the problem there, you got human waste. That's one thing I didn't see on the ground in Baltimore was human waste. I saw a bunch of trash. Yeah, stuff that should be in the landfill, but I didn't see anybody's excrement on the floor like you have in San Fran. That's just nasty. If you want to clean up there, you're going to need a hazmat outfit, some firefighter training, some money. You're going to need some hazard pay, all that good stuff. I'm not finna go. Not at all. If I go to San Fran, I'm going to need like Iron Man's outfit to protect myself. But anyway, thank you to everybody in here. I appreciate it. If you're just now coming into the stream, please give the video a thumbs up. I appreciate that a lot. We got 422 likes right now. Let's get it up to 1 million. Whatever you can do, I'd appreciate it. Yeah, San Fran is so bad that you have an app that shows where the poop is on the streets. Now that's bad. I don't want to live in a place like that, let alone clean up the mess in a place like that where I gotta watch my step. I'm not sure if it's a cow patty or whatever the case. I'm not sure if it's an animal or human or what. I don't want to be there. Oh, the hoarding is crazy. Absolutely. A lot of bandos. One thing San Fran does not have is a lot of bandos because it's such a densely populated area. But Baltimore's got plenty bandos all over the place. And in the bandos is more trash. And that's an issue for sure. Let me see. Chen says, I live in San Francisco, a lot of homeless. You can also look it up. A lot of homeless prices are going up for rent despite Democrat tax policy. Yeah, I mean, it's only so much you can do to the rent is going to go up in a place like that because there's so many people that live there. It's so densely populated and it's high demand. I mean, it's going to have very high rent like that. Homeless folks know that. It's to the point where it's like some cities in India. If you've ever seen some of these TV shows where they show like, what was that, Mumbai, whatever, in an area where you got some money or a guy that has some money, it'd be a big slum right outside the place. That's kind of how it is in San Fran. You got all that tech money, just trillions of dollars, billions maybe, not trillions, but a lot of money. So homeless people, they flock to the area. Sunny weather, it's nice, and plenty of resources they're able to take advantage of that they probably couldn't get in whatever podunk town they came from in the US of A. That's pretty much how that is. Do I have Cash App? No, I don't, but I think I'm going to get that. Somebody asked me about that before, so I may go ahead and get Cash App. All I have right now is PayPal, Patreon, Super Chat, and that's pretty much it. So that's pretty much where I'm at. Oh, you got PayPal? Yeah, I got that in the actual description box. Hey, thank y'all for being here. I really appreciate you guys. Absolutely. All right, what else we got going on? Yeah, a bando is an abandoned house, an abandoned building. Yes. Now, I think all the human waste on the ground is because where they're going to be. There's so many people that live there. There's no public toilets. Well, now they got Starbucks. They kind of blew their way into Starbucks. But, hey, if I was in San Francisco and I had a Starbucks, I'm going to fight that whole open bathroom policy with every tooth and with every fiber in my being. I'm going to fight that. There's no way I'm going to just allow that to happen because you're going to find all type of needles and somebody going to mess around an OD in the Starbucks bathroom. You can find them dead. Now, look, if I'm a barista, I don't think my job description includes cleaning up junkies that have overdosed. That's not really in my job description at all. John Sparks, where was this? You said 680 arrested in a chicken plant. Probably a lot of illegals, huh? I wonder where that was. That's one thing I keep seeing all the time is people saying that you got to arrest people that have these illegals working for them. Well, I see plenty of arrests all the time. You got to be able to find them first, though. But people come here and they do all kind of stuff. They gang bang, they steal, they may work under the table, all kind of stuff that they shouldn't be doing. They get welfare. All right. Now, as far as the incident that happened last time on last stream, I don't have an update on that, but I'll let you guys know as soon as I know an update. Let's go ahead and get into the calls. We got quite a few people in here, 714. Thank y'all for being here. Definitely appreciate it. Let's go ahead and get the Skype fired up, and hopefully it doesn't blow my ears out. I'd appreciate that if it just did right, if it acted right. Okay, got some more super chats here too. Hold on. Let me see. Let me just go ahead and load it up. Thank you to Monster Blood XO who says Master Splinter controls Baltimore. That's hilarious. Thank you for that. Shout out to Crow Wick who says active attacker training active teachers don't name them because they want to be infamous. Should be referred to as cowards or monsters. Correct. Yeah. I try not to talk about the individuals in the shootings by name or show their picture. I just try to say the incident, like the place where it happened. That's pretty much what I like to do because I don't want to make these people famous or give anybody any kind of ideas to go copycat, because a lot of these situations, in my humble opinion, they're copycats. So I don't think you really want to have that happen. And shout out to Kafir Linda Clark. That is a hilarious name, who says, someone please come help do my housework. Old lady needs help. Ha ha ha. Love you, Anthony. Hey, thank you for your donation. Definitely appreciate you. And that's a fantastic name you have there. Shout out to the Kafir. All right, let me go ahead and get my situation together over here and see if I can get some calls jump in. That'd be good. Oh yeah, that's right. I gotta fix the I gotta fix the ring, because I can hear that ring in my ear really, really loud right now. There we go. Perfect. All right, caller, who do we have on the line?
Hello, room service. This is room 307, Mueller. My copy of Rudy is not working in the VCR, and my FBI American Express card has specifically already charged it, so I need someone here to come and deal with it.
Sir, I'm not sure who you were trying to call, but I cannot help you with your actual your movie. So I don't know.
This is Robert Mueller, and look, the service has been awful since I've come to this hotel, and I'd like you to know that I'll tell the rest of the Bureau alumni that this is the treatment that we receive for, defending this country.
Well, look, Mr. Mueller, I think that I cannot help you with that, but you got to focus on some. You got to just get it together, man, because I see that you're not really all the way there. You're a few trees short of a forest, and I'm seeing that now as I saw it when you were having that testimony on Capitol Hill. It was pretty painful to watch.
Wait, this is not room service for the La Colina Resort in Dominican Republic?
Sir, no, it's not. No, it's not. I'm not really sure what you got going on in DR.
So Adam Schiff gave me this free vacation, and he gave me the wrong room service number too?
That's correct. That's correct. I know you over there having a great time in the DR. I'm not going to ask what you're doing. I'm not trying to get into your personal business.
That's not my purview.
Okay, yeah, okay, that's not in your purview.
Not your purview either.
Exactly, not my purview either.
Unless you can help me with this VCR copy of Rudy. You wouldn't know how to, wind the tape back because the little wheels aren't working.
Not my purview, sir. I can't help you with that.
Anyway, you seem like a nice fellow, though. Like, what's like the big deal, right? I mean, you seem to be in the middle of something. What's going on?
I'm on a live show taking calls right now, Mr. Mueller. So I don't know what you got going on, but if you want to talk about the actual Russia investigation, we can talk about that. But I can't help you with the whole VCR thing you got going on. I can't help you with that.
Look, ABL. I mean, maybe you are doing some sort of show on current events. So, the Russia investigation is a lot like the movie Rudy, right? I mean, in the beginning, everybody thought it's ridiculous that Rudy could ever get onto the field and do anything important. And then he gave up his career at the mill, and his entire family had to be dedicated towards, ignoring the fact that he has no football talent. And eventually he did make it onto the field, and of course, as we all know, it kind of flamed out. So I think that explains exactly how the Russia investigation went.
Hey, well, I mean, it makes sense to me. It definitely does make a lot of sense. You put it all together pretty well.
Yeah. So I mean, I think we've done a great thing for the justice of America, and we've done everything we want. So I don't know why you and your show or whatever your Bluetooth show is why you have such a problem with the work I did.
Well, because it was a witch hunt from the very beginning, and everybody knew it was going to go nowhere. You were brought on for the express purpose of trying to give the Democrats a reason to impeach Donald Trump, but you were not able to do that. So that is the only issue with the work.
Look, ABL, I take offense to you calling me, calling this a witch hunt. And if I was into witch hunts, as FBI director, I would have been able to get those bastards to take my advice and lock up Pantera years ago when they used to do those stupid concerts.
Well, yeah, that didn't really work out too well for you because Pantera is still doing their thing. But yeah, I mean, it was a witch hunt just to us on that were on the outside looking in. It didn't yield anything. I mean, how do you feel? You taking 3 years of your life, you were already retired to come up with nothing. How does that really feel?
Hey, I mean, I've got the sun, the beach here. Schiff gave me this whole, cabinet full of free Dominican liquor. For some reason, there's a closet full of razor blades here. How should I feel, ABL? How should I feel?
I'm not sure, but whatever you do, do not drink the liquor because it kind of goes down a little bit different in the DR. So, be safe unless you got, some Hillary Clinton wishes. Be safe.
All right, I think I found a pencil. I can find a way to rewind this thing. Anyway, thanks for taking my call, sir, and I hope you can forward my complaint to room service.
I'll try to do that for you, but thank you for the call. Definitely appreciate it.
All right, have a good night.
All right, now. All right, that was Bob Mueller. It was not a troll or anybody calling in just trying to, do an impersonation. That was really Bob Mueller. So shout out to him for the call. All right, let's go ahead and get into the next call here. On the caller, you on the line, who am I speaking to?
What's up, ABL?
Everything's good. What's happening?
Yeah, I got a question for you about these red flag laws. How long do you think before someone uses one of those with an anonymous tip to get someone disarmed before they rob or attack them?
I mean, that's what I'm saying. It's definitely going to be an issue of the abuse of the law. So my thing is, if somebody can tell me that the law will not be abused, then it might make sense. Because in the case of the Parkland shooting, they had a lot of information on this guy, plenty of red flags, but they couldn't really do anything because what law did he violate? People said he should have intervened, but how are you going to intervene? So I'm definitely not in favor of the law being abused. So if the law was going to be abused and you couldn't prevent it from being abused, then you shouldn't have it. But if you could prevent it from being abused, then I'm with it.
Yeah, but I don't. I can't think of any way in which it could be prevented from being abused. It just seems way too easy.
Yeah, I mean that's what I'm saying too. So I mean I'm pretty much in agreement with you.
Yeah, I almost see that becoming like the new swatting. Like they call in some tips, say you're gonna hurt someone or yourself, and then they disarm you, and then you're a sitting duck, and they can do whatever they want to you.
Pretty much.
Yeah, it's terrible. But speaking of swatting, I'm glad you had a okay resolution the other day. That seemed pretty crazy.
Yeah, it's all good. It was nothing really. The person didn't get what they wanted out of that situation because the police were nice, and it wasn't even like it was nothing really.
Well, good. I'm glad. Well, stay safe, man.
All right, thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
Peace. Take care.
All right, shout out to the caller. Most certainly appreciate him. And thank y'all for being here. The number to call is 434-658-1220. The number is usually right here up under me on the ticker. It'll come by eventually. It's also in the description box below. All right, now 402, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Oh my gosh. Hi, ABL. This is Kat. I'm from Omaha, Nebraska.
All righty, Kat. What's going on?
Well, first of all, I just want to say, oh my gosh, I can't believe I'm on the air. I'm a huge fan. First of all, I love your show. Absolutely love it. And my two questions are, the first one is, I wanted to ask you this last time, but I didn't get a chance to. What do you think the point of the Democratic Party is nowadays? Like back then, it kind of used to be, for the low working class, trying to help people build up. And with, oh my gosh, with everything that's going on, I don't even know what they stand for anymore.
Well, Democrats don't have any kind of real platform upon which they stand. Their whole thing is about just trying to appeal to emotion to get more support on their side so they're able to stay in power. And whatever kind of way they're going to do it, they're going to do it. They'll lie, they'll cheat, they'll steal, they'll do whatever it is. So they don't really have policies. Like right now, they have control of the House. I mean, what if they really pushed forward? What if they passed? What have they done? They've done nothing. And they didn't do much when they had Barack Obama in the White House. So all it's about now is just trying to maintain power, maintain control, and not really do anything to help anybody other than themselves.
Yeah, it's really sad. I don't know if you can even trust them nowadays. And I there should be a balance, but I just, if it's just for themselves, I mean, what's the point? And my second question is, where did you get your 1776 flag in the background? Every time I watch your show, I love looking at that flag.
Okay, the flag comes from one of my sponsors, bhedesigns.com. There's a link in the description box for them, and you can get custom made flags. You can get whatever you want. Like the flag behind me, I custom made. I said, okay, I want you to put the 1776 in the star field, and then put We the People. And at the same time, I did the hats to go with it, so it was kind of all part of one thing. But you can get that same flag or something else, whatever you want, from that link in the box. Again, that's bhedesigns.com. If anybody's in the chat want to go to the website and check them out.
All right. Well, thank you so much. I don't want to hold up the line for any other fans. Love your show. Keep up the good work. God bless you, man.
All right. Thank you for the call. Definitely appreciate you. God bless you.
All right, bye-bye.
All right. Shout out to the caller. And yeah, bhedesigns.com. That's my man. These are, very well crafted real wood, beautiful flags. You got to get one for yourself. All right. Let me get to my next call here. And the lines are blowing up, so I'm going to try to get to everybody as soon as I can. Y'all just hang tight. 216 on the line. Who am I speaking to?
It's Mr. Barlow. How's it going, ABL?
Everything's good, man. What's happening?
I wanted to speak everything. I want to speak on that. What's it called? That red flag gun law.
Yeah.
The only thing about that, man, I think a lot of people. It's gonna be quite a few casualties on that. What I mean by that is, if you do got a crazy person, he ain't trying to give up his gun. That's number one. So that's gonna cause harm on law enforcement.
Yeah.
And I don't think they necessarily thought that part through. Like, how are you actually going to get guns from a person who don't want to give them up?
That's a good point, because it could be a gunfight that happens. They come in the crib saying, "Hey, give me the gun." He says, "No." What's going to happen then?
You're right. It's gonna be a terrible situation, man. Like, it could be some casualties, man. Like, seriously. And then for those people who are wrongly accused because of somebody abusing that law, they might snap, because at the end of the day, I don't think people really want their guns taken away from them, period. Whether you a righteous person or you might be crazy, I think law enforcement is going to really be in jeopardy, man. If this law go through, I got mixed feelings about it. That's all I wanted to say. I'll get off, man, and enjoy your show.
All right, thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you. And that's a good point. I didn't think about that. I didn't think about what happens if you get somebody that does not want to give up their gun, and they run in the crib and say, "Hey, give it up right now," and they got it in their hand. What are you going to do? That's a good point. Either the law enforcement is going to get hurt, or the person with the gun, the civilian, is going to get hurt. So that's pretty much what that is. All right. So the phone lines are blowing up. I'm going to try to get to everybody. Y'all just hang tight. Let's go ahead and go to... All right, call you on the line, 347.
Joshua.
All right, Joshua, what's happening?
What's happening in Logan?
Everything's good, man. What's happening?
Very much as well. They're still trying to find work.
You say you're still trying to find work?
Yeah.
Like, what are you trying to do? You trying to do like entry level fast food type stuff?
Yeah.
And man, keep on rocking, man. You in the Big Apple, man. You can find something. But then again, I don't know, man. It's kind of rough out there because you got the minimum wage law. That's kind of like killing some of these jobs, ain't it?
Yeah, that's probably true.
Yeah, but just keep on grinding, keep on just pounding the pavement, see what you can find. You in the big area, you should be able to find something. So if you got to get creative, do that, and don't get discouraged. Just keep on grinding.
All right, I know. And I want to talk about the red flag law.
All right.
That's because that I do have mixed feelings on it. That on the one hand, it's good that like the range psychopath people don't need guns like to prevent like mass shootings. But on the other hand, it might be abused like swatting and other stuff. Heck, it might hurt the police force in America because people might troll other people online and pretend they have a gun even if they don't. and it might get hurt.
Yeah, definitely. It definitely could be abused. So you got to be able. The only way that I could support a law like that is if somebody could, without a shadow of a doubt, prove to me that you couldn't abuse it. If you can't, then no, because it's going to cause more harm than good.
Exactly. And I heard the concerns of the American Joe and those of the code that they fear they might get their guns taken away because of the red flag law.
You said what now?
That American Joe and those of the code might fear they might get their guns taken away because of the red flag law.
Well, hopefully that doesn't happen. Hopefully we can just have this law not really go any further. I know people just want to have some kind of knee-jerk reaction to what's going on, but we need to do things that make sense logically.
Right. And another thing, but this is a small thing, that my mother doesn't want to wear the MAG hats outside anymore.
Okay, so are you gonna, take that advice? Or do you have a choice really in the matter?
I have a choice that I'll probably tweak it out or don't wear it at all anymore because she fears that I might get beaten up.
Well, you know what? If you're gonna wear it, just be ready because you're in New York. Just be ready. That's all. But for the most part, I think you should be all right. But be prepared regardless.
Right. And another thing I want to talk about is they told the pretend to be Hispanic go malas to get an award calling Trump a white supremacist. Like, how is Trump a white supremacist? How?
Well, here's the thing about Trump. People are going to call him a white supremacist because it's just a popular thing that they say on the left to try and discredit the president. It's simple as that. It ain't nothing else to it. If they liked the president, he could say the exact same things he says in the exact same way he says it, and it wouldn't be a problem. They don't have any kind of issue with Joe Biden. Not really. I mean, they pretend to when they're on a debate stage with the whole segregationist thing, but that's not really a real issue. So, they pick and choose who they want to actually be upset with and who they don't for political purposes. They'll just tell you straight lies. They'll say that somebody's white supremacist without it actually being a true statement, just to try to get political points.
Right. Like these candidates don't have no plans for 2020. All they want to do is try to get Trump elected or trying to sell their books after the election season. They just want money. That's all.
Pretty much. That's pretty much what it is, man.
Yeah. And couple of more things.
I don't got that much time, so you gotta make it kind of quick. Give me like 30 seconds.
All right. Did George Bush cause the Kyoto animation fire in Japan?
You said what now?
Did George Bush cause the Kyoto animation fire in Japan?
Did George Bush cause it? I'm not sure how those two things, how George Bush can be related to the incident. I don't know how that happened.
He did.
He did? What did he do to cause that fire?
He nuked the animation studio, and because of there's a robotic.
He did what? Hold on, you can't. It's still too soon for the joke, so I ain't even gonna ask you what you said. I'm gonna go ahead and get to my next call, man. If somebody heard that, they got it, but I didn't hear it. So thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
Definitely appreciate you too.
I know. All right, let's get to my next call. Shout out to everybody calling in. I appreciate you guys for being here. Most certainly. The number to call is 434-658-1220. It's always right there. And the ticker that's moving is also always in the description box at the very top line. Right up under the video, click show more, and then it'll be a little number right there. 434-658-1220. All right. Let me get to my next one here. 978, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, Anthony, it's Steve Baldessari with American Patriots Forgotten Country. How you doing, my friend?
Everything's good, man. What's happening?
Well, the question is, what's happening with you, man? I'm sorry to hear about that SWAT team and the crazy leftist that's just trying to bring you down, man.
I mean, yeah, it's all right. It wasn't even like what they wanted it to be. It wasn't even the SWAT team. It was just police officers.
Okay. Yeah, it just goes to show you where we're at, where, I won't go any further than that, but you know what it is, man. And you're a good man, dude, and they'll come at anybody everybody should be aware of that, and I think they are. I think it's the climate, the political climate that we are in is toxic, as the left would say.
Yeah,
they're the ones that are making it toxic.
It definitely is, for sure.
But yeah, and I don't know. I just wanted to talk about everything. It's just kind of nuts that you see these shootings going on, obviously, and you feel bad for the victims and you feel bad for their families. I want to start off with that, and it's a shame. But I'll tell you right now, I really, truly believe in my heart that they're orchestrating these attacks. I really do. And I think what it is it's Antifa that they're using as the people to do these attacks for them. I mean, Antifa had on their website that they were going to go down to El Paso, Texas in September and cause 10 days of chaos, and then they do it a little early, in my opinion. I think that whole manifesto, whatever it's called, that they wrote up for the Antifa guy, because I think that's what happened. I think they scripted it, and I think they wrote it up to push their agenda to take our guns. And we know the guy in Dayton was Antifa. So
yeah, that's proven. That's a fact. We already know that. So
exactly.
Yeah.
Right. And so I know people would say, well, you're a conspiracy theorist, and we know how the FBI treats those. They want to label you a domestic terrorist. But here's the thing. When you're thinking for yourself and you are paying attention, you have to at least wonder to yourselves and say, well, Antifa was saying that we're going to go to that very city in September. And if you were doing an attack and you were going to do something like that, don't you think maybe they were just letting you know, we're going to do this, but they might do it sooner, so it would be like the element of surprise, right? And then we'll just write a manifesto up and touch on all the things that conservatives believe in, okay, to try to make them look bad and make them look like the crazy shooters when it's really Antifa and the left. That's what I'm saying. Just a heads up, guys,
Yeah,
and,
that
was my main point for calling.
Yeah, the whole thing about the manifesto is that they're trying to cite that as being a real document, but I keep seeing that it's not been confirmed yet. So how can it be cited as a true document, a real document from the individual, and it being their true intentions when it's not being confirmed yet? I just have a hard time just believing that right now.
Right, and the fact is they want to label, the FBI wants to label people who think for themselves as conspiracy theorists, but then at the same time, we know who are really fake news and conspiracy theorists. It's the Russian hoax people, right? For example, and you think they'll ever label CNN network a bunch of domestic terrorists, for example, and all their followers?
That's right.
And then the last thing I want to touch on real quick is the red flag bills and the laws. I'm telling you right now, they're trying to start a civil war. That's what they're trying to do on multiple fronts. But if they start doing that, like the caller said before, and they go to, I'm telling you right now, for example, if they go to my house, and I'm not giving up anything. I know a lot of people feel the same way. I'm a normal, rational, sane person. But if you come to my house and you start something, there's going to be something, because we're at that point where they're going too far. And if anybody and everybody can just report you based on nothing and pretend that you're a crazy person and that we need to ruin your life, I mean, they're going to make people fight. They're going to make people do that, because we have to protect our freedom. So that's all I wanted to say, and I know I'm taking up a little bit of time. So thanks, ABL, for the floor. You take it easy, brother, all right?
All right, thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
All right, see ya.
All right, thank you to my man Seabaugh. Sorry for the call. From American Patriots with Guiding Currency, most certainly appreciate him. But let me get to my next call here. 702, you're the line I'm speaking to.
And you're...
What's going on? I got speakers in the background.
Yep, I got it muted.
Alrighty.
Hey, this is a quick one. It's a little bit off, but it's in the wheelhouse. They keep calling Trump Hitler, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I was thinking about it, and I'm like, well, and the racist, of course, the racist thing.
Right.
But I was like, Hitler wasn't a racist.
Well, I don't know. Like, okay, but go ahead.
Well, think about it. He invades Poland. Poland is full of, a bunch of white people. Wipes them out. Goes into Ukraine. Bunch more white people. Wipe them out. Goes into Russia. Bunch more white people. Wipes them out. He makes friends with Japan and China, sending them both aid, so they can go out and kill white people. Right? That's how the war went. So
but we got to just pause for a moment, because
right.
I mean, Did Hitler only kill whites?
No, he was an equal opportunity killer.
Okay. So,
Like, if
but
you
why?
were-
But why?
if you
Why
were-
did he kill the non-whites?
Same reason he killed whites. It's a fun job. But think about it. If you were blonde haired and blue eyed, you were okay, right? But if you threw a yarmulke on him, where did you go? To the camps. Because Jew is not a race. That's a religion.
No, that's a race.
So, well, yeah, but you could be blonde-haired and blue-eyed and be a Jew and go to a camp. You could be black and Jewish and go to the camp. He was an identitarian. He picked groups he didn't like.
Okay, so
You
was
see where
it
I'm coming from?
now? Was it more
He
of a?
didn't-
Well, okay, I'm gonna ask you a question. Was it more of like an ethnic thing?
Right. Well, no, actually, because like I said, he killed Poles. That Poland's full of white people.
Nah, but I'm talking about ethnic, like because you like.
Oh,
I mean,
Name some of the people he went after besides Jews, ethnic wise.
well, I mean, okay, German people are not the same thing as Polish people, ethnic wise, are they?
Actually, yes.
Are you sure about that? I don't know if I think people in Poland would disagree.
Well, that's just it. The border has moved so many times that intermarrying has made it pretty much nothing. I mean, it's a nothing burger right there, because the border, part of Poland used to be Germany, and then it was back in Germany, then it was back in Poland. Same way with Russia. Part of Poland was in Russia, part of Poland was in, then it was out of Russia. So, and we're talking about countries that are smaller than our states here. So people were moving, it's not like everyone stayed in one little, basically, cities in the United States are countries over there.
So this whole, I got to ask you one more question. Then I'm gonna get to the next call.
Sure.
This whole thing about the master race. What was that about? The master race. What was that?
Well, that's just it. You were only master race unless you put a yarmulke on. Because if you put a yarmulke on, you were gone, right?
But okay,
Jewish.
but like when he says master race, what is he referring to? Is he not referring to race?
Well, yeah, and think about it. Blonde hair, blue eye. Were any of the leaders in the Nazi Party blonde haired and blue eyed?
Well, I don't know.
Himmler?
But all I'm saying is that he had an objective for the master race. So I mean, but hold on, let me get the question out.
Yep.
So if he had an objective for the master race, wouldn't that be racism?
Yeah, I guess you could put it there, but I still think his victims it was because of identitarianism, because he was actually making deals with the Arabs to attack the British in the Middle East. So how could he be a racist if he's doing deals with Chinese, Japanese, Arabs? Because he tried to get a jihad going against the British during World War II.
Okay, now I'm gonna say this. All right, caller. You kind of you're making the spot hot right now. So I'm gonna just say this, and then I'm gonna get someone next call.
Okay.
Now you got racial groups that may kill within their own same color race. That doesn't necessarily mean that doesn't necessarily mean that they're not racist. They're still racist, but sometimes we need to kill within your own race. But you still have racist views, like Nation of Islam back in the day. They hated whites vehemently, but they killed Malcolm X too. So I mean, you can have two things happening at the same time. But thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
I agree.
Thank you for the call. Definitely appreciate you.
Take care.
All right.
Bye bye.
All right. So I let that call rock because I know somebody's going to call and give me the proper rebuttal. So that's why I did that. But yeah, shout out to the individual. If anybody wants to call and rebut that, the lines are wide open. I appreciate it. But yeah, you have race-based groups that will kill their same race, but that doesn't mean they're not a race-based thing or they're not racist. You can be a racist person and kill within your same race. You got plenty of folks that hate race. You got black folks that hate white folks and will kill black folks all day, that hurt black folks all day. Same thing with whites. That's not a thing that is abnormal. All right, but let me get to my next call here. Let's go 909. You're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hi, Alex from California. I just wanted to let you know I just found out your show, and it's really great.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah, it's really great. It's really good to hear some honesty, because here in California, these Democrats are just way too crazy, especially on taxes and what they do. And it's so true when they say a Democrat in his constituencies, their people are living in squabbles. I mean, I've been by Skid Row, and it's horrible. And I can't believe they just keep letting it happen.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, it's really crazy. So I just want to let you know, love the show. I'll be staying in tune and love what you're doing. Thank you.
Thank you for the call. Definitely appreciate you.
Okay, bye.
All right, great call. Thank you for that. Let's get to my next call here. All right, the calls are coming in fast and furious. I'm going to try to get to everybody as soon as I can. The number to call is 434-658-1220. All righty, we got 269 on the line. Who am I speaking to?
This is the Uncle Reggie, man.
All righty, what's going on?
What's going on, man? How you doing?
Everything's good, man. Can't complain.
Your mom got me again.
What happened?
Your mom's got me again.
What happened? What did you say?
Yeah, it was my screen name, man. I went in as ABL's evil twin, and they got me. Make two.
All right. Well, what's happening? What's going on?
I was just calling to let you know. I caught a couple of your shows. About these. Hey. I mean, if we're gonna have an honest discussion about these what do they call them, white supremacists or white nationalists or whatever, we gotta have the talk. A lot of people are brushing under the rug, saying it doesn't exist, it's fake, it's a hoax. I heard one guy say, pretty popular guy too, and they do exist. I was there. I was back in the '90s. I met these people. They do exist. We're not going to say they don't exist. Brush under the rug like it doesn't happen. It's not as widespread as the mainstream news makes it sound, but these people are here.
Well, I think what people are referring to is just like this specter and this overwhelming sense of dread from the white supremacist cloud over the country. That's not a real thing. I mean, nobody worries about that. I mean, that's like saying that I don't even know how they say it. It's just not really a real big issue. It's not an issue to be concerned about, pretty much. You may have some guys that identify as that, but it's no issue to be concerned about.
Right. I don't want to scare anybody or nothing, but there's a reason these guys wear a hood and they act cool and they do stuff like that, but they're real secretive. They don't do stuff like this. Where I'm from, back in the '90s, is part of the reason I left the left is because those people. That's where they're at. It's a really ugly world, and they live. They're all over Illinois. I can tell you that, and that's where I'm from. They live in a farm, out in the farm communities, and their neighbors know who they are. It's not a big secret down there, but they don't do stuff like you're seeing in the news. They just don't do stuff like that. They do other stuff.
Yeah. See, now the narrative from the news is that white supremacy dominates all society, and you can't do anything without white supremacy being involved. The president is a white supremacist, is leading an army of 100 million people that are white supremacists with the MAGA hats on. It's like, that's all just fake. It's not real. You got a handful of dudes that think that, and these guys that may think that, they're not in any position of power at all to make any kind of change in your life. It's just not a thing that's really, it's not enough to actually be concerned about.
No, as a matter of fact, there were now there's there's different kinds of those guys too. There's like the neo-Nazi skinheads. You'll find them at like punk rock bands. They're in the mosh pit. You'll find them in places like that. They're not really a big population or anything, but they do exist.
Okay.
They'll wear Doc Marten shoes, shave their head, wear leather, ripped up clothes, anarchy symbols, chains and things like that, the dark clothes, skinny jeans. I think this is, I don't want to be stereotypical because that's what I grew up I grew up around these people, and they were kind of like, there were like 20 of us in a school filled with 1,000 people. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
It wasn't, I don't want to include myself in that group, but these are people that I grew up with, and they evolved into that. Now, where they got those ideas from in their head, I don't know, but that was, it was just something that we put up with. We tolerated it back then, and it's grown. The water's gotten a little muddy. You know what I'm saying? It's not as clear and defined as it used to be, but they're trying to turn it into anybody who's looks a certain way or who talks a certain way or is critical of a certain kind of a person is now one of those people. So it's I don't know if it's a self-preservation technique or what the deal is, but
okay,
you can just be labeled like that just for criticizing somebody about their rat infestation and things like that going on in their own community.
Exactly. That's probably the key here.
Yeah, they don't want anybody to criticize them, so they'll cut you off at the knees and make you hobble around on your stumps. That's kind of what they're trying to do.
You said a thing that's offensive to me, so I'm gonna call you a white supremacist, and then everybody's gonna believe it, and then they're gonna try to attack you, get you fired from your job, all this, that, and the third, get you doxxed, your personal info's out there, and all this and that. So I think that's the general thing. But I thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
All right. Did you catch my email on your ABL, your AnthonyBryanLogan.com?
I think I did, but I got to check it. I got a lot of emails, so I'm going to go through everything.
It just explained how...
no, I mean, I got you. I think I saw it, so you don't got to say it, but thank you for that. I'm going to check it out.
All right, brother.
All right, now.
All right, we'll give you a holler, man. Much love.
All right, appreciate you.
Everybody out there, click them thumbs up. Click them thumbs up, everybody.
Peace. All right. Thank you to my man for the call. Most certainly appreciate him. And shout out to everybody calling in. I appreciate you guys. The number to call is 434-658-1220. Do not be afraid to call. I appreciate everybody for calling on in. You guys are great. All righty, let's get to my next call here. We got 954 on the line. Who am I speaking to? Uh-oh. I'm sorry. My Skype just decided to just act up. So whoever was trying to call on the line, it didn't go through. So you try to call back. And if my Skype is not accepting calls, I don't know what's going on. Skype does whatever it wants to do. So how about this? How about we just restart Skype and let it just do whatever it has to do, and then we'll get right back on it. How about that? I think that'll work out pretty well. All right. So thank you to everybody in here. We got super chats to read before I get to the next call. And let's start with Faith Jones, who says, liberal media silent on MAGA hat wearing Trump supporter getting beaten, but all of a sudden loud when black man is arrested by mounted police. Very good point. And thank you for your donation. Sorry for the loud noise. But that's a very good point you made there. 100%. He got beaten bad. I'm talking like he might lose his eye. They don't want to talk about that at all. That's not even really a real story, but a black man gets led by a horse. He is not hurt. He's not injured. He's not in any kind of distress. But all of a sudden, that's a bad thing. It's pretty crazy. But thank you for your donation. Thank you to Jill E. Soto Jr., who says, I'd like to see Tucker instead of Pence this time. I'm not sure what you mean, but thank you for that. Definitely appreciate. Oh, you're talking about to be the vice president. Hey, he'd be a great vice president, huh? That'd be great, especially if he were allowed to keep his seat on Fox. I doubt it, but that'd be funny. Thank you to Holden Caulfield, who says, Waffen, not Warden. Oh, okay. Let me go back. Let me see it. He says the 13th Warden or Waffen Mountain Division were Muslim. Persia changed its name to Iran, which means land of Aryans because of affiliation with Germany. Good information to know. Thank you for that. Most certainly appreciate it. Shout out to Adorable One, who says attach a rider on the red flag law that makes false reporting a felony with a guaranteed 2 or 3 year sentence. There you go. And I say more than that. It should be like, 10-year fed time for sure. If they could prove that you knowingly made a false claim, 10-year fed time off the rip. If they're going to do red flag, which I think that probably shouldn't happen, but make it be a severe penalty for false reporting. Thank you to Boat Like a Leopard, who says Weasel Mueller's call with ABL is up on YouTube, and I'm not sure what this is. Is that a Red Robin or what is that? Thank you for your donation. Definitely appreciate you. I think it's a Citizen Man who says my last video debunks the white supremacy narrative in 3 minutes. Check it out, brother. Hey, I'll check it out when I get a chance for sure. I think it's a Holden Caulfield who says red flag rules will also be abused like when you got swatted. Trump needs to rethink red flag rules and blaming video games. Hey, I said that too about red flag and video games for sure. Rethink that. Listen to those of us that are out here, understand what's going on. But thank you for your donation. Thank you to Russian Barber who says, $1.99 challenge. Thanks for being a fair voice. Hey, I appreciate you for your donation and your support, man. Thank you. 100%. Face Jones also says a China deal may cost Trump the election. I've not seen the details of the China deal yet, but I'm going to look into it. But thank you for your donation. Shout out to Faith Jones who says, I think the liberal media sensationalizes some news stories that, like that man arrested on a horse to keep black liberals in a constant state of outrage to keep them close to their voter base. Very good point. And thank you for your donation. Thank you to Christian JR who says the don't make the shooter infamous by saying his name is a psyop of mainstream media to shift the blame from the individual to the racial group tactic of neo-Marxist media. That's a good point right there, because rather than saying his name, you could say white male, white supremacist, white this, white that. Very good point. Thank you for your donation. Most certainly appreciate you. Let me get to my next call here. The number to call is 434-658-1220. Now for you on the line, who am I speaking to?
Hey, Lisa from Dallas, Texas.
All righty, what's going on?
Well, like everybody that I normally hear, you are doing an amazing job. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank
you. You bring a lot of clarity, and it's just been in the last year and a half that I started getting online, because I'm hearing about all this racial tension, and I'm like, I don't understand that. I never grew up in an environment, and I had friends who were Hispanic and Black, and then all of a sudden to hear we have a divide, it confuses me. And now I have children who are in their 20s who have been in environments where they have been treated like you have white privilege. And the irony, when they were in high school, we were homeless and we lived in a car. And at the same time that we were homeless, living in a car, my youngest was the student council president. My oldest was in a DECA tournament, and at a local level, state level, she went into internationals. And the day that they took our home away, my girls went and volunteered on spring break to do Los Colonias. And that's an area where a landowner will sell property, but he doesn't develop it, give electricity or plumbing. So these people need the help of communities to go in and take out the trash and stuff like that. So it just amazes me. I think that's the real America, because both my girls are now successful. The youngest has 2 bachelor's degrees. The oldest has 3 degrees. Both are working in this environment. And guess what? We're white, and we only went on government assistance the very first 6 months when our home was taken away. And we've never been on government assistance since then. And so it's really confusing with the way things are going down right now as far as what the media is saying. But you help add clarity, and so do many others, like Candace Owens, and I can name a bunch of people, but I just want to tell you I really appreciate you. I watch your videos every time they come out. The bell thing does work. I know some people say that the YouTube doesn't do that, but for me, I'm definitely getting notifications. And sorry, I was on a rant, but it's just so frustrating, to hear all these other experiences like, oh, I can't get a job or whatever. Even when I was homeless, I was trading, I took the skills that I had and I was able to trade cleaning homes or doing what skills I was able to do. So I don't understand all this animosity.
I hear you, and that's very well said. You know, I wish people could just have a mind state like yours to understand what really matters in life. You know, about perseverance, people being able to help one another, community. That should be the main thing, rather than everyone trying to air out a grievance and trying to attack everybody. So, I thank you for your call. I most certainly appreciate you.
Yeah, and just one last statement. It was really weird for me because we are definitely, in a sense, as far as standards, we're doing really well now. But I was talking to one of my daughter's aunts, and she was telling me that my daughter told her one of her best Christmas was living in the car with me.
Mm.
And
wow.
I know, because it's about what you bring into life. It's not about what you take from it. Anyway, you have a great day.
All right, thank you. Great call.
Thank you. Bye.
All right, shout out to the caller. Very good. See, that right there, that's what we need. You know, people shouldn't be so much concerned about their grievances that they can't really see any kind of solution, any kind of, you know, end game, any kind of goal to reach. That was fantastic. But I got a lot of calls on the line. Let me see if I can get to a couple more, quite a few more, because we only about halfway. The number to call is 434-658-1220. 602, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to? 602.
Hey, what's up, Anthony? This is Frank from Arizona.
All righty, what's going on?
Hey, man, I've been listening to you since you had 12,000 subscribers.
Oh wow,
long time ago, man.
Yeah.
And you weren't on video, so I've been following you, so I feel like I know you, man. But anyways, I know the guy a few callers before talked about he didn't want to sound like he's a conspiracy theorist, but have you seen? I'm wondering why in Ohio they actually showed video coverage of the police, you know, going in, and did you see that video?
I don't think I did.
Well, they have a video of the police going in and you know, stopping that guy.
Oh, no way. I did see that because I was outside of the bar, right?
Yeah, that's outside of the bar. So they showed video coverage of that, but on the El Paso one, they haven't shown. I mean, I'm sure there's cameras all over. They haven't shown one video, and they only showed 2 pictures.
Yeah, that seems pretty weird because if you are in a Walmart, there's got to be cameras everywhere. I'm sure there is, especially inside the actual store. There's got to be cameras. So, yeah, that seems pretty weird.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, and they're only showing two pictures. You constantly see them rolling through the news, even Fox News, you know. But when they go out and interview the people that were there, there's several people, Mexicans. Yeah, I'm a Latino. I'm a Mexican, and I'm all for Trump, man. I grew up in the barrio. I grew up like that. So my family's all Democrats, all the whole 9 yards, but not me. So they all hate my guts. But anyways, you talked to when they were interviewing them, they were saying they said they seen 2 or 3 guys wearing all black, and they even reported that. I'm sure you've heard this, but they reported that they had killed one, but they had to draw that back. You know how they changed a lot of the information when it first went out. Are you aware of this?
I've been hearing different things, but I'm not hearing one consistent thing from, you know. So it's like I'm hearing a lot of different things, but I'm not really sure what's what.
Yeah, because I think that it is coming from Antifa, man, and they're just doing it to divide the country, to make them all mad so that they could take our guns. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, it would make sense for them to do something like that because you already got a violent group. They've proven themselves to be violent. There's no question, and there's no, you know, nobody can say that they're not violent. So for them to do something like this, it would make sense because it'd fit right up their alley of what they've been doing.
Yeah, and then that red flag thing. I mean, as long as we keep on telling Trump, you know, hey, it's not a good idea. It's not a good idea. You know how he just speaks out and then he'll change his mind.
Yeah,
that's what's going to happen, man. They ain't going to do that. There ain't no way that's going to happen.
Yeah, I was saying the same thing. It's like, you know, he'll listen, because that's one thing about Trump. A lot of these guys, a lot of these presidents in the past, when they come up with something, it's already been determined by powers that are higher than them. This is what you're going to do, and that's it. And they just pretty much follow orders. But Trump is a guy that likes to actually lead from the front rather than just be giving orders. So if something he says is not right and he gets a lot of negative feedback, like you said, he'll change his mind.
Yeah, he'll change his mind at the last minute, just like he did with Iran.
That's right.
But but he'll change his mind, and they'll be like, "What the heck?" Because he's going to do what he wants to do, but he's going to do the right thing. And then as far as like China, I heard a little caller before me saying that, or no, you were reading about the it could cost him the election with the China deal and all that. Nothing's going to cost him the election. I mean, it's either you vote for him or you vote for these nutballs that are running. Who in the heck wants any of those people in there?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
No matter what. It doesn't matter. You know what I'm saying? I mean, Trump's doing a good job, doing the best that he could. But, I mean, look what you have. Look at the alternative. Nobody's going to vote for these people, man. They're freaking crazy. You know what I'm saying?
I'm with you. Exactly. And that's part of the reason why we're getting so many on the left. We're getting so many from the left to the right, because the left, they're getting so crazy. People that were on the left are pretty much left without a home. It's like, man, I can't go over there and deal with them. You know, it's just too extreme. So we're getting them just based on the fact that the left is so crazy. I mean, and if that's happening, people aren't just going to go back and vote for the left, which they left. They come over here. They're going to pretty much stay put. They're looking at it like he's a better candidate that's available.
Exactly. And you know what? The bottom line is people are going to be more careful. They're going to watch where they wear their Trump hats. Because I wear mine when I'm alone. But when I'm with my family, you know, my grandkids and my wife and my family, my mother, I don't wear it because I don't want them to be involved. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
Because if somebody, they could attack me all they want, but I can't protect them at the same time. So I don't wear it. A lot of people are just being careful. But when the time comes to vote, there's going to be a lot of people that already have made up their mind that they're going to vote for Trump no matter what. Absolutely. I tell all my family, quit watching the mainstream media. Quit watching it. It's a bunch of garbage. You know what I mean?
Right.
I tell them to listen to you, man. I say, here, listen to this guy, listen to all these other guys. That's where I get my news. So, hey, man, I appreciate it. I feel like I know you, man. So I tell you, I've been listening to you, and I didn't even know what you looked like.
Oh, wow.
But you were good, man. You were good.
Well, thank you, man. Thank you for the long time support, man. It really means a lot to me because, you know, I didn't think I'd be able to get this far with what I'm doing. So thank you for being there from the beginning, man. Definitely appreciate it.
Oh, no doubt, man. No doubt. Hey, man, keep up the good work, man. God bless you, man.
God bless you.
Later.
All right. Shout out to the caller. Yeah, if you didn't hear what he said at the beginning, he said he's been here since I had like 12,000 subs. Like when I was just using slides with, like at that time I had no webcam, no nothing. Like my setup was just, it was a whole, that was a long time ago. But shout out to my man for calling, most certainly appreciate him. Let's get to the next call here. All righty, call you on the line, 617. Who am I speaking to?
Yeah, it's Ivan, man.
All righty, Ivan, what's going on?
Hey, man, what's going on, man? So, question for you. Where you get that information about Baltimore getting $17 billion? 17 or 7? Where you get it from?
I'm not sure I said that, but if I did, it was on the news.
Well, you should not trust the news. That's what I'm trying to tell you. You should not trust the news.
Okay, so how much? Okay, so what did I say?
484 million. That's what Baltimore got in grants for 2018. They haven't done 2019 yet because the fiscal year ended in June 30. So they gotta do the audits. They gotta do. Yes, there was money missing from the millions. No, specifically money missing, but they didn't track down how the expenses were going out. But there wasn't no billions of dollars missing or anything like that. You gotta go to the source. Go to the city of Baltimore, print out the annual report. You could see all the information. They got, I think it's Simmons & Simmons, the CPA firm that audit them. And in order to audit them, they have to sign off that say that all the information that they put together or they review it is true. So it's not like they just go make stuff up.
Okay,
That's
so
number one.
right now I'm reading this from Newsweek. It says Cummings District, 7th Congressional District includes portions of Maryland outside Baltimore. It received slightly under 15.7 billion grants and other assistance from the federal government in fiscal year 2018, according to. I'm not finished. I'm not finished. I'm gonna start over so I can just talk without being interrupted. But anyway, Cummings District, 7th Congressional District includes portions of Maryland outside Baltimore. It received slightly under 15.7 billion grants and other assistance from the federal government in fiscal year 2018, according to government data analyzed by Newsweek. Okay, so where's the evidence to I got sources.
Go to the city of,
where's your source?
To the city of Baltimore. Go to the annual report and read what they receive. Go to the city of Baltimore. I don't know how much Maryland received, but the city of Baltimore received.
See,
so that's
okay.
No.
Let's finish, because you're saying Baltimore, but you're wrong to sir. I'm not done talking. Let me talk. You're talking about Baltimore, but you're incorrect in talking about Baltimore, because you're talking about Elijah Cummings' district. His district does not just include Baltimore, sir. His district includes.
Yeah,
can I finish? Can I finish?
What is the problem?
Can I finish, sir? I'm gonna put you on mute. I'll put you on mute. You're muted. Now, his district includes West Baltimore, also portions of Baltimore County and Howard County. His district got 15.7 billion in federal grants in fiscal year 2018. Now, the city of Maryland is something totally different. That's not the same thing as the district that Elijah Cummings is over. It's simple. So you got to get your facts right, sir.
The state of Maryland, that's the city of Baltimore.
No. It ain't the whole state. It's sir. It ain't the whole state.
They cannot get. Do you know how much the budget for the city of Baltimore is every year?
Sir, you just
do
wrong.
You know how much the city of Baltimore budget is?
You're just wrong.
But how much?
You're just wrong.
I'm just asking you. How much is the budget?
It doesn't matter, because my facts are correct.
They cannot super exceed much more that they receive on the budget. Doesn't make sense.
Okay.
I'm gonna move on.
All right, because you're wrong on that. Go ahead.
Go and check it out, review it. Then
I got the facts right here.
Wednesday or Saturday, we'll debate.
I got the facts right here. So go ahead. What's your next thing?
Next time, because I think the budget.
Sir. I mean, look, I've already proven you wrong on that. I've already proven you wrong. I have information right on the screen, and you don't have information on the screen. You're talking about the city of Baltimore. I'm talking about the district, which does not just include Baltimore. So, what is your next topic you want to talk about, sir? I don't have all night.
But
sir.
I'm talking about something.
So, okay, go ahead. Time's wasting. Go ahead. Come on.
Okay. So, and the problem, the main problem with the all these abandoned homes, that doesn't matter who comes into place, Republican or Democrat, they can do nothing for the city, because these homes, most of the homes are owned by the banks. And the banks don't want to take responsibility of these homes that have been abandoned by these homeowners that lost massive value lost in their homes. And then, first of all, they go in these homes that they couldn't afford. So the city got to do a part, the resident got to do a part, but the banks got to take care of these homes. At least making secure that people won't go in. They don't talking about that.
So what do you like? What's your point, though?
My point is not only the city cannot do nothing about these abandoned homes. If there's trash inside about these abandoned homes, there's nothing the city can do. This is responsibility of the owner. They need to find out who's the owner of this home. Most likely are the banks that own this home, because they're in foreclosure, and the banks, they're not taking responsibility of these homes.
Okay, well, something could be done. I mean, if the city of Baltimore was not running to the ground financially, maybe the homes wouldn't be abandoned to begin with.
Well, the homeless, because they're abandoned homes. That happened in New York. That happened in Boston. That happened in all cities where, you got abandoned home. People going to go and live there.
Look, the situation in Baltimore is that you have Democrat policies that are running the city into the ground.
Well, what is the policy? Tell me a specific policy, Democratic policy.
High taxes, running away jobs.
That's nothing to do. New York have high taxes, they don't have any problem.
And the jobs are leaving New York too.
Boston have high taxes, they don't have any problem.
And jobs leaving. You got a lot of problems in Boston, a lot of problems in New York. It ain't the same thing as
That,
Baltimore.
no.
And you
That's not true.
can't, sir. You
One of
can't,
the
sir,
problems- one of the problems
sir. I'm gonna talk. You're muted. You can't really compare New York City to Baltimore. I mean, what's the population of New York City?
I don't know, like 12 million, I guess. I don't know.
And Baltimore?
I think it's less.
You think? So it's
think
kind of
that-
hard.
but even
It's
if
kind of
you
hard
have
to compare.
one
It's
of
kind
the
of hard to compare a metropolis like New York City to Baltimore, Maryland. Baltimore has like 600,000 population, and it's been declining. New York City is like 8 million. I mean, there's no comparison between the two.
You cannot compare Baltimore with Boston or New York. That's the one thing.
So why did you do it?
When the value of the houses increased too much, people could not afford these homes, and the economy lost all those jobs. People left. There's nothing.
The policy,
same thing like
the policy
same thing
of
like Michigan. Why do you think
poli-
Michigan is like the way it is? Not because Democrats run it to the ground, because the car
Democrats ran it to
industry
the
left.
ground.
So the car industry left. Then what are you gonna do there?
Why did the car industry leave?
For many reasons. One of the reasons is because it's very it's very expensive to do business in the
Oh,
United States.
okay. Expensive to
But
do
not
business.
necessarily
Expensive to
no.
do business in Democrat-ran areas.
But not only necessarily
Okay.
because taxes, not necessarily only because of taxes, because we have higher taxes in the past, and we were doing well. Number one, number two, competition. All these American cars started getting competition for Japanese cars. If you look in the 80s, only American cars will be drive. 70s, 60s, only the American car will be drive. No American, by his pride, will buy a Japanese car. Now nobody cares anymore. Why? I don't care about. I'm looking for my own best convenience.
All right.
of the
Well,
consumer.
hey, I mean, I'm gonna cut you off, but the phone calls are blowing up, so I gotta get to some more. Thank you for the call.
Like I said, go and read it. Don't believe everything.
Thank you for the call, Ivan. Definitely appreciate it, but I don't got all night. All right, let's get to my next call here. 941, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, yo, ABL. How's it going? This is Jay from Florida.
Everything's good, man. Can't complain.
Gotta admit, love the show.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate it.
Yeah, I just wanted to say something that not many people even think about, but the El Paso guy, has anybody even asked the question of how did they get the picture that went around Twitter?
You talking about the one that he was in the Walmart or like outside?
No, in the squad car.
Well,
Somebody took a picture of him in the squad car. If you go on Google, you can look at the picture.
Yeah,
And
I've not
if you
seen
look
that
at
one.
it- Yeah, but isn't it weird how they just, I don't mean to sound like a conspiracy theorist or anything, but you mean to tell me, now the door is open. You could see the doors open. Because if you look at the grid in the background, well, the window in the background, it has a grid. If it was closed, the grid would have covered his face, but it was wide open. We all know that the cop didn't take, excuse me, we all know that the cop didn't take the picture because he would be fired. And so I sit there and say to myself, so did this guy, excuse me, well, he didn't let some random Joe Schmo just walk up and take a picture. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I don't know. I don't know what happened or what's going on. I've not seen the picture, but I mean that does sound like it's weird. I mean, only thing I can say is that somebody was close by, had like an infinite zoom on their iPhone 11 or whatever. I don't know. I can't really speak on that because I've not seen it, and I can't really see it. So
My bad, brother. I was going to say, if you get a chance, you should look at it because you'll ask yourself, looking at this picture, it looks weird because somebody let somebody else take that picture.
Okay.
And, well, I was also going to say another thing about Trump. Now, I'm a Trump supporter. Now, I just don't understand how Trump can take hooks left and right from Hollywood, the FBI, and all these leftists, but when it comes to a shooting, he folds like a blanket. Look what he did with bump stocks. Now, I'm not a fan of bump stocks. I think they're stupid, but that doesn't matter. You know what I mean? He still signed off on or infringed on our rights, whether people think it's okay or not. Like I said, I personally think it's dumb for the bump stocks, but my opinion really doesn't matter. And
Well,
I'm
I
just
mean,
saying.
I don't know. Like, okay, my thing about Trump is that, he may do things sometimes that you may not agree with, because let's not forget, I mean, he's kind of like a New York Democrat, really, in all honesty. And sometimes he'll do things you don't agree with. Like when he was running, he was talking about he would allow transgender men to use the restroom of their choice. Now, I didn't like that at all. People like Bruce Jenner, I didn't like that at all. And that was when he was running. So there may be sometimes he does a thing that you don't agree with. And in this case, you know, it's, again, I don't agree with the whole red flag thing or the what else? Something else he did. I forgot. But anyway, I'm not agreeing with it. That doesn't mean that he's just failing. It's just a thing that I don't agree with. And I think
No. I'm not saying he's failing at all. I'm just saying, you know, it doesn't make sense how he's this tough guy on everything else, but then when, hey, now we all know shootings are bad, but I mean, come on now, these red flag laws, like that doesn't lead to a slippery slope. We all know it does. You know, what are they going to say? That every military guy with PTSD now has to turn in his guns? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I see where you're coming from.
Oh, and one more thing before I go. I don't know if you heard about this, but before the shootings or whatever on Friday, supposedly there was breaking news that the FBI helped Hillary destroy her evidence. I don't know if you heard about that or not.
No, I've not heard about that, no. But I wouldn't be surprised.
Well, I'm just saying, you know, I don't mean to sound like a conspiracy theorist. To be honest, I never really was until I joined the military. But after I joined the military, there was no, you know, you'll be surprised what they do.
Yeah, I mean, hey, at this point in time, I've seen so much that it's kind of hard to surprise me nowadays.
All right, well, hey, I'm happy to talk to you, brother. You know, love the show, watch every week.
Well, thank you for the call, man.
All right, brother.
All right, now,
have a good one.
Same to you.
Yep, bye.
All right, shout out to the caller. Most certainly appreciate him. The number to call is 434-658-1220. It was right there in the ticker, and it's also in the description box if you did not hear me say it. All right. 203 on the line. Who am I speaking to?
This is Monster Blood.
All righty, what's going on?
How are you?
Everything's good. Can't complain. Can you hear me?
Yep, I can hear you.
All righty. So what's going on? What's on your mind?
Let's see. The whole thing with the guy with the getting led by the horse with the police fiasco.
Yeah.
If any normal, sane person like me or you saw that, let's say, we would think, that's not a situation I want to be in. That's embarrassing. That's a great form of public humiliation to show this is what you don't do, because then you'll be walked around like a child to show you let's not do bad things. Because I would think that guy probably feels very embarrassed by walking through the streets like that.
Oh, yeah, you got to be. Absolutely. But, you know, people just want to make a mountain out of a molehill. They want to say, oh, this is racist. It's like, man, come on. Nobody ever said anything about that. It had probably been going on for a long time, and it was never an issue. But now, in today's day and age of the outrage culture, everything's got to be offensive. And if you don't fix it, then you're a racist.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure if you looked 10 minutes before or after that photo was taken, I'm sure there was maybe a white guy being led by a police on a horse as well every day down there, and no one blinks an eye.
Right.
Or unless you're, shaking your hands in the air for a safe space.
Exactly.
I mean, I think that's what they assume that everyone will do when they're approached by, someone that's still mentally unstable that wants to bring harm upon you or your family.
Right.
Not many people are, trained in unarmed combat to protect themselves. That why take a right away from someone? It's not telling everyone should have a gun. If you want one, sure, you can have one. If you have proper knowledge, training, sure, you have the right to own a gun. If you don't want a gun, don't own a gun.
Yeah, I mean, people, the whole thing with gun control, people just trying to get control. The left, they're trying to get control. If you don't have guns, if you're not armed, you'll be more easily controlled. They can do pretty much whatever they want with you at that point. That's when the tyranny will come in, because they know you got a soft populace that can't really do anything to defend themselves. They can pretty much just be strung around and done with what whoever wants to do with it.
Oh, yeah. Under the guise of your freedom, though. Give up your actual rights to now give up your whole life to us, so we control all your quote-unquote rights and freedoms now. Mm-hmm. And you can't say or do anything about it, or we will now militarize your whole life. You'll see tanks in the streets.
Yeah, you don't want that.
If there's, the conspiracy of the whole NWO type thing, and they want to take over the whole, 3 million of the people in this country, what would a couple of people's deaths matter to these people if their end goal is hundreds of millions of us being enslaved or dead?
Yeah, I hear you. I'm with you.
It's a scary time to think that most people want to cry about everything if they don't get their way, and it's just sore losers everywhere. Facts are, out the window. They don't exist anymore.
Right. I'm with you. Well, hey, I got a lot of calls on the line, so thank you for the call. I definitely appreciate you.
Oh, yeah, definitely appreciate you more.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good one.
All right. Same to you now. All right. Shout out to the caller. Most certainly appreciate her. And the number to call is 434-658-1220. Do not be afraid to call. I'm going to try to get everybody on as soon as I can, but the phone lines are blowing up on a Wednesday. All right. Let me get to my next call here. Let's go. Nico, what's happening, man?
Oh, hi there, Anthony. How have you been?
Everything's great. Can't complain. About yourself.
So it's all pretty good right now. So I just want to see this really quick. Have you heard about, I think his name is Joaquin Castro, if I'm not mistaken?
Yeah, the guy running for president?
No.
No, his brother. His brother's running for president, and he's just, yeah.
Yeah. Have you heard what he actually did when he's actually released a list of names of private citizens and small businesses that donated to Trump's campaign, and he's actually released a doxing list? Have you heard about that?
I saw that. That was crazy. I might do a video about that, because I saw that like a little while ago before I got on the stream. That was crazy.
Well, and the complete irony is that most of the names of these folks and the business owners actually tend to be Hispanic themselves. And then he's trying to sugarcoat it, saying it's a quote-unquote limit of Hispanics who are supposedly being, like, I guess you could say Uncle Toms, if that even applies to Hispanics.
A lot of them donate to him, too. So I don't even understand what the point of that was. It was pretty strange.
To fight racism.
It's like, okay, if they give you money, then like, what is that? Like, do we just ignore that and just say, oh, it's all about Trump? I don't get it.
Well, I don't know. So that I would like to see a video about that. But there's also something else I want to say about that socialist convention. And I'm just telling these people, if these people are so scared of loud noises, and these people talk about they're going to overthrow the government and cause a war and fight and supposedly fight the enemy, and yet they're scared of loud noises, then these people, they can't even pick up. These people won't be able to handle a gun. And I mean, really think about it. These people can't even handle a gun, and you could even shoot a blank in the air, and they're instantly by like 5 seconds they're probably going to be waving the white flag.
Exactly, that was my point, because if they can't handle clapping,
watch this, Anthony. It's going to be like the shortest civil war in history.
Yeah, it's going to be short. It ain't going to be a whole lot going on there, because if you can't handle clapping, then good grief, that gunshot is going to be a problem.
I mean, I'm saying this is that these are also the people who are trying to advocate to ban the guns. Well, if you're advocating to ban the guns and yet your opposition, they're arming themselves up and get ready for a quote unquote civil war, then how are you gonna quote unquote overthrow the system?
Right.
Right. So yes. And another thing I really wanted to say here is that it kind of makes me funny because you know what? I'm probably gonna be a dead horse over it. I mean, I know what I'm gonna say about the El Paso shooting, but I'm probably said the same thing about the guns, and then all of a sudden, even without the guns, that people are going to find other weapons and everyday material to kill people. But that's another story.
Right.
But you know what? I just want to say this. With the Columbine, I mean, with the El Paso shooting, and they're blaming video games and that sort of stuff. That it's not really much different. And then there's also the same thing with conservatives. I also see this on Twitter that are also blaming heavy metal, and they're also saying he's a atheist Satanist. It was like the same thing. Have you heard? I'm sure you were around at the time when Maryland went at the Columbine shooting and with Marilyn Manson, and then everyone was sort of having this moral panic about Marilyn Manson.
I remember that, yeah.
I mean, with the video game arguments, it's now your basic end with the heavy metal from left and right. You're on the same level of saying that video games are the cause of violence. Now you're on the same argument of saying that guns are the cause of violence.
Right. Yeah, and you know, they're both it's false. People are just trying to find a reason, but they're not really understanding the problem. The problem, people that have issues internally. It's not outside forces. It's not entertainment. It's the individuals themselves that have the issue.
I mean, if you don't have the parents who are going to raise their children, you basically let the culture and the system raise the children.
Correct.
And they're going to be aimlessly, and they're probably going to end up in prison.
That's right.
And it's the same thing you always say about violence for entertainment, when it's the sad but true thing about human nature is that we've always craved violence throughout history. I mean, look at ancient Rome, for example. And as a matter of fact, look at WWE, which is basically ancient Rome of the modern times.
Yeah, I mean, all those things happen. You still got football, you still got contact sports, you know, quote unquote violent sports. Those things are going to exist. That doesn't mean that we could just blame that on people that have serious mental problems that go out here and actually hurt people in real life.
All right. And one more thing I got to say, because I know that time's ticking here, about Kamala Harris. I mean, have you actually heard about what's going on, that the California corrections website actually erased her arrest reports?
Yeah, I heard about that. Yeah, that was interesting. So it was like, okay, it just conveniently erases her arrest report when you're trying to run for president. So nobody can go look that up and use it. That's interesting.
Yeah, and then from what I heard, she's actually locked up a lot of black folks without their due process.
That's correct.
I mean, and then it's kind of ironic how yet she fights for black people.
She says that, but it's all bogus. She's just trying to, you know, become the president. And it was only a couple years ago that she identified as Indian American, not Black American. So, you know, it's all just about trying to become the president, trying to get them votes.
All right, but that's probably all. Oh, and one more thing before
I got a little bit of time, so you might want to go ahead and.
Are you gonna do a video on that with Kamala Harris?
I'm gonna look into it and see what's going on with it.
See, all right, that's about all I'm gonna say. See you, Anthony.
All right, thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
All right.
All right, thank you to my man Nico for the call. Most certainly appreciate him. The number to call is 434-658-1220. Let me get to my next call. 619, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hi, Anthony. This is Tom from San Diego. It's a pleasure to talk to you again. I was going to talk a little bit about current events, but when they mentioned Adolf Hitler, I just had to weigh in on this. Aside from the fact that Donald Trump has Jewish grandchildren, and he's probably the best friend Israel's ever had since Harry Truman, who was president when he was born and when I was born a long time ago. If you know anything about his personality and his life story, you couldn't be more different than Adolf Hitler's. It's so strange. If you read the history of the Third Reich by the Rise and Fall of the Third Reich by William Shirer, that's a good source. Also, There's a 1,400-page biography about Adolf Hitler by a famous author named John Toland, who's best known for a book called Hiroshima. But Hitler was a mystic, and a lot of people don't realize this. The thing that, whether you agree with Donald Trump politically or not, this is a man who tries logically and rationally to solve problems. That's one reason he's been so successful. He likes to negotiate deals and find common solutions that will benefit everybody. Hitler was probably clinically insane. He believed that there was a group called the Aryan race. And this was a notion that started in the late 1800s and early 1900s by some European, basically half crazy people. There was this myth called the Aryan race that was a superior race. And some of them got into the philosophy of Nietzsche and the music of Wagner and all this. But the problem is there is no such thing as an Aryan race. It doesn't exist. In fact, when my ancestors, my blonde-haired, blue-eyed ancestors were running around in the forest killing each other, these various Germanic tribes, at the same time that there were great civilizations in India and Asia and Africa. Now, after 1000 AD, the Europeans became predominant, but there were other economic and demographic reasons for that had nothing to do with any racial superiority. Genetically, there's no difference between any of the races as far as natural ability, and there's a lot of cultural things that make differences. But I just had to weigh in on that because he is like the opposite of Adolf Hitler. This guy is not a mystic. He's a reasonable, logical person. And it really bothers me when people make these kind of idiotic comparisons and don't know what they're talking about. If anybody is not a fascist or a Nazi, it would certainly be Trump. I mean, Hitler was a national socialist, for God's sake. He came out of what was basically a left-wing movement. And, I just wanted to weigh in on that because a lot of people who know better are trying to demonize him for personal political reasons, just like they tried to capitalize, I think, disgustingly on these tragic events with these two madmen killed these people. So keep up the great work. You're a voice of reason and logic and decency, and we need all of those we can get. And thank you very much.
Thank you for the call. Definitely appreciate you.
Thank you.
All right, great call. And I'm glad they was able to go ahead and just set the record straight on that. I appreciate it, 1,000%. And you guys on the drill. The number to call is 434-658-1220. Do not be afraid to call. I'm going to try to get to you as soon as I can. Let's go to 818 on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Oh, good evening.
Good evening.
ABL, how are you? I'll keep it quick and short. The last caller, I loved all the things he was saying. I don't know his name, the little guy who was in the screen.
Yeah.
Really good points. But anyway, okay. So I don't know if you've heard, but okay, so these are just things I'm throwing out there. Everybody look it up. Okay, there's a movie called The Hunt. It's being scheduled to be released in September. Today, ESPN pulled its advertising from it because it's a movie about people going out and shooting Trump supporters. Literally. Seriously.
Now, I saw that trailer, and I was going to do a video. I still may do a video about it, but my take was a little bit different. Now, I did a little bit of research, and what it was going to be called at first was Red State versus Blue State, but that was too provocative for the studios to pick up, obviously, for clear reasons. But then it changed to The Hunt. And some people that could be considered like Trump supporters that got kidnapped by the liberal elites, but the Trump supporters had arms and they were fighting the liberal elites. You see what I'm saying? So it wasn't like when I first heard it, I'm thinking, okay, they were getting kidnapped and tortured like in Saw.
Right, but no. But either way, it's like that. Okay, right now, everything that's coming out in the movies is almost remakes. I mean, you have some things that are original, but for the most part, everything's being redone.
Uh-huh.
And so with your collective, collaborative brilliance of entertainment, what you come up with is a Civil War story in modern day times, basically. But the thing is that ESPN pulled their
commercial
advertising from it. Yeah, they're commercial advertising from it in lieu of what just happened in these last few days.
Oh yeah. It's definitely the wrong time to come out. They definitely shouldn't release it for sure.
But it shows you the mind of Hollywood.
Yeah.
That's what it shows, and then, another thing, look, even if they make guns illegal, take everybody's guns, whatever, people will always find, okay, you have teenagers who are in gangs who manage to get guns off the street. So, I remember Uzis and these things and this, that. I mean, if you want something, you're going to get it.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean? So, can't take our rights. Second Amendment was written for number 2 because first one was our speech, second one was our protection, and they foresaw, they were intelligent when they wrote this document so many years. Like, don't we all wish to leave something for our children, and don't we have a plan or a will or something that we wish to be lived out to our honor upon our leaving this place? And what you have going on is everybody's trying to dishonor the will, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Live to what it is. And then, did you do any looking into the dad, Brian Crucis or whatever, the dad of the El Paso kid?
Yeah, I saw something about him briefly. I saw that he was like a stress counselor or something for people that had PTSD.
Well, not only that, he was a psychologist. He actually, I think maybe a year or so ago, some musician got shot in front of his house. He did a whole PayPal donation thing, GoFundMe for him. He's a psychologist, deals with all of these things, and he's a recovering drug addict. He wrote a book, and I mean, just some very interesting things that just everything's just very interesting and disturbing all at the same time.
Yeah.
And then did you see AOC? I don't know if it was today or yesterday, but you have to look it up. I mean, it is absolutely disgusting. Everything that she spews now that she's lost her mouthpiece guy who still even spewed badly for her. I mean, it's horrible. It's horrible.
Mm-hmm.
Just horrible. Anyway, just some things I wanted to throw out. And the other night I was there for the swatting. Glad you're okay. That was weird. Don't like that. That whoever out there who violated you like that, they violated all of us too, because we choose to listen to you. That's our choice. And if we didn't want to listen to you, we could just go away.
That's right.
You know what I mean?
That's right.
So anyway, appreciate you. Love your live shows. Love everybody out there listening. And, keep the faith. And that's all I got to say.
All right.
Bye.
Thank you for the call. All right. Shout out to the caller. Most certainly appreciate her. The number to call is 434-658-1220. It's right there up under the screen, up under me on the screen, I should say. And I thank you all for calling. You guys know the drill. I'm going to try to get to everybody as soon as I can. Y'all just hang tight. 229 on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, this is Philip Struther from Southwest Georgia. How you doing, brother?
Everything's good, man. What's going on?
Hey, I'm all right. Short call, short-winded. Just wanted to tell you, man, I really appreciate what you're doing. You're bringing a lot of light to the people about all the crap that's going on the left, and I really appreciate it. You're real light to the brothers, man, and I appreciate it.
I thank you for that, man. It means a lot to me for sure.
Yeah, keep up the good work, brother. There's a lot more of us out here than people realize.
Oh, 100%, man. I'm going to keep on going, man. Thank you for the call. Definitely appreciate you.
Thank you, brother. Keep it going.
All right, now. Shout out to the caller. I appreciate that. It does mean a lot because, I like to get words of encouragement. People tell me I'm doing the right thing, keeping on going. So I do it for y'all, and I appreciate you guys supporting me always. All right. Let's get to my next call. 571, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hi, my name is Nicholas.
All right, what's going on?
Doing well, thank you.
All right. So what's on your mind?
All right, so sorry, I was watching this stream and it's just a little bit.
You can't watch that.
Okay, So what's on my mind? I'm a legal immigrant here in the States. I'm an American by choice, not by birth. Sadly, not by birth. But I had the opportunity to come here in 2006. I worked my way through the whole system. It took me nearly 10 years. And now I can say I'm a proud American. One thing that everybody, whether you're on the left or on the right, should realize is that this is the last bastion of liberty in the world. Coming from a guy that came over from a socialist country, which is Greece, I know exactly what we are losing and what people or the powers that be are trying to make us lose. One of the things that really keeps America the way it is the Second Amendment. I hold it very dear to my heart, and it's the last thing before any other liberty is taken away. So for everybody that's thinking about this, well, guns are evil and guns are bad and blah, 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 just do yourselves a favor. Look at the statistics. Look at how many guns, how many lives are lost through gun violence, whether these are mass shootings or not. Look at how many people die from texting and driving. And you're going to see that this is a narrative. The best way to handle a firearm is with proper education and training. And that's pretty much it. If the Second Amendment goes, so is the First Amendment. And then, whatever you were afraid of, that's what you're going to get. And one last point, if I may. To everybody that's viewing live or will view it later on, that's a little bit on the left. That says orange men bad and all that stuff. Great. If you're a proponent to take everybody's guns because of the horrific incidents that we had this last week, you're pretty much you realize that you're pretty much advocating for taking people's guns away, the last line of defense, and giving it to Trump, who, according to you, is a tyrant. Think about this logical fallacy. Thank you for all that you do, Anthony. I really appreciate all your content, and God bless you, my friends.
Thank you for the call. Definitely appreciate you.
Bye.
Fantastic call. That was a great point made there at the end. It's like, okay, you want to have the guns taken away, and then who's going to be the guy that's in charge of all of this, coordinating the guns, and then like you're going to be at the mercy of Trump and the mercy of the federal government. So any kind of tyranny you may fear, what you going to do now? and there's nothing you could do now. You're pretty much going to be out back. So very good point. All right, what's going on, Shreeps? Shreeps, if you're talking, I can't hear you, boss. All right, Shreeps, I don't know what's going on, but I cannot hear you, so try to call back. All right, shout out to everybody on the call. If you're waiting, I'm sorry, but the calls, they're coming fast and furious. I'm going to try to get everybody on as soon as I can. All right, let's try Shreeps one more time. All right, Shreeps, can you hear me? If you're talking, I can't hear you. So, I don't know. You got to just, go into your settings and see what's going on. But I'm going to get to a few more calls. I'm going to try to get to you after that. All righty. Let's go to 614 on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Oh, this is Matt in Ohio. How you doing, ABL?
Everything's great. How
Let
about
me go ahead.
Okay, go ahead.
I got to mute you on the stream here.
Yeah.
First time I called. I don't really know how to do it yet. Here we go. Good?
We're good.
Outstanding. Hey, man, like everybody says, thank you so much for what you do. Really appreciate it, all right? It's great.
No problem.
I had a few things. I made some notes, so I'll try to keep it moving, okay?
Okay.
Have you talked about Strazik tonight yet? Because that guy is cracking me up, man.
I've not, but I did see that where he's like, was he suing the DOJ for wrongful termination?
Yeah.
that guy, he's a nut.
Me up, man.
He's, when I saw him give his testimony, he made this kind of like head gesture and winking and lip parts. I'm like, okay, this guy,
he's face just cracks me up.
Yeah, he's a few French fries short of a Happy Meal, so the guy ain't right. That's what's going on here.
I know. You know what gets me though is he's acting like Trump wrongfully terminated him. He had an undisclosed extramarital affair, and he's a counterintelligence operative. Like, what?
and he
What are
and
they
the affair was in the department. So it was like, what are you thinking about? Like, nah.
Well, on a company phone.
Yes.
Like, bro, you're going to get blackmailed. The FBI is going to be compromised. I mean, this is your job, man.
Right.
Even if Trump wasn't in the equation, it's like, you got to go, bro. You're out. But what he's going to find out is you go ahead and sue Trump. That's fine. Go ahead and sue him. Find out how much he can spend on lawyers when you're liable for the expenses. All right. What's next here? All right. I say this at the bottom of every comment I have ever left on your pages, man. Please consider running for office. All right? Really.
I will consider.
All right. Now, another thing. Are you paying attention to what's going on in Kashmir right now?
No. What's going on?
The shit is blowing. Oh, excuse me. I'm sorry. Things are blowing up right now. Okay, like Pakistan has launched heavy fire on Indian forces. India has put like a total clamp down on all movement in the area. They've scrapped they had something going on where Kashmir was basically allowed to write their own laws, even though they're part of India. And one of those laws was that only residents could buy property, which is ridiculous. So, India scrapped it, and they're not happy about it. But yeah, man, watch that. Both these guys got nukes. It's something to keep an eye on.
Yeah, that's going to be an issue because right there, that land has been under a lot of that's been disputed for quite a long time, and then you got China right there
like
too.
50 years, 3 different wars or something. Yeah,
and then China's there as well because it's like so that's going to be
right
a problem.
Next door.
Right next door. That's correct.
Right. So okay, I got 2 other things here. One, people talk about some of the great things that Trump has done. Black unemployment rate, that's a common one. Okay. I noticed something here tonight. Nobody talks about this. They need to. Okay. I'm sitting here looking at the gunviolencearchive.org. Okay. And you can look at the historicals for past years, right? Mm-hmm. Okay. If you look, 2018, gun violence down. First time in like 5 years. The total number of incidents, the total number of deaths, mass shootings, all those down like 15-20%. So he gets no credit. They're just going to sit there and it blows me up. Besides that, I'm sure you saw that picture. Did you see that picture of every mass shooter in 2019 so far?
Yeah, I saw that, but people were saying that might not be totally accurate. So, I think that although it may not be totally accurate, I think that it's close to it because they want to use.
I wonder how accurate it is. I went and did my own research, and I'm not convinced. But still, it's startling.
But still, the thing about it is they're trying to use the 2 most recent shootings in El Paso and Dayton, Ohio, as a face of all the mass shootings, and then they want to say a mass shooting is 4 or more people shot, not even necessarily killed, and then they're going to say it's like 300 of those. So they combine that big number of 300 with the 2 mass shootings that happened recently.
I heard like 240, 250, something like that.
A high number, basically. They're using
a high number, and almost all of them unsolved, no leads.
Yeah,
like 150 or more of them were like they don't know.
Yeah, so they're using the 2 most recent ones to be the face of all those. Although, like you just said, a lot of them they don't even know who did it. It's just a way to try to get in end around and say white supremacy, therefore gun control, therefore
right. Totally ignoring that the Dayton guy was like card carrying leftist and like.
Oh yeah, we're going to ignore that because they don't fit the narrative. We're going to ignore that.
Oh right, yeah. Okay, one other thing about Dayton, then I'm out of points here. So, did you hear how Dayton mayor does not want to give any sort of medals to the police involved? He was opposed to that, which is like I just cannot believe it.
Was there a reason why?
They went running ahead. Yeah, he said instead of giving them a medal. Well, and then he's basically addressing Trump. He said, "Why don't you pass some gun control legislation?"
Oh wow!
It's like,
wow,
man. Yeah, instead of giving them some a pat on the back, we're going to go strip Americans' rights away in their name. I mean,
That's crazy because the thing about it is why politicize the situation? The police are doing their job. They're not legislators. They're not lawmakers.
Man, you saw run in there.
Oh, that was fantastic. Like they were on it instantly. There was no games being played. Yeah. That threat got eliminated right away. So shout out to the police. They did a great job.
Imagine. Seriously. Yeah. Thank you to all of them out there, man. They're hardworking people.
Absolutely.
I appreciate it. Well, man, that's it, man. I just wanted to call. I never called before. I watch your show all the time. I love your show, man. I love your streams, and I really appreciate everything you're doing, all right? You keep it up.
All right, thank you for the call. Definitely appreciate you.
Shout out to the chat, man. Y'all great. I'll see you in there.
All righty. Great call. Shout out to him for calling. Most certainly appreciate him. And you guys know the drill. The number to call is 434-658-1220. I'm going to try to get everybody on as soon as I can. Y'all just hang tight. Let's go to 828. You're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hi there. This is Janie from North Carolina. How are you?
I'm well. How about yourself?
I'm doing good. Just got a few comments. I won't keep you long, but I love your show, and I love what you do, and I really appreciate you giving us all a chance to ring in and let you know what's on our minds. And today, I wanted to comment about the Democratic Socialist of America convention. It looked like a bunch of nerds up there competing for the president of the nerds. That was just the biggest bunch of nothing, and I don't see how in the world AOC. Well, I guess she was the best of the nerds from the last time.
That's right.
But I just wanted to comment on the El Paso shooting out there.
Mm-hmm.
I believe that I listened to 3 different things, and they were 3 different people who had was given description of the shooters and all, and they all said that they were, in black outfits, carrying guns. Not one of them, not one of the 3 different people that they interviewed said he had on khaki pants.
Mm.
And with all the cameras outside of any Walmart, that none of them picked up these guys with the black outfits on. I believe that it's not a hoax that people died, because we all know that people did die.
Yeah.
But it seems like not just there, but Sandy Hook and Aurora, that I believe that these things are staged. I believe that they pick somebody out that maybe is unstable. They put them on some kind of drugs, and they tell them what to do. They brainwash them, and they do go out there. They do exactly what they're told to do, is to go out there and kill as many people as they can in a short amount of time as a distraction for something else that's going on in the news. I think that the Democratic Party, their presidential candidates have nothing going for them, nothing. So I think that to distract from the Epstein case, the Baltimore episode, and I can't believe that anybody is even complaining about somebody going in there and helping clean up some of these neighborhoods. Elijah Cummings has been there for 20 years, and he couldn't do anything, but these other folks come in a couple of days and work and help clean up that community. I think that it's race baiting. I think that people caused this to happen. They want us all divided. Divided we are weak, but together we are strong. And I hope that everybody remembers that. I've never seen so much division in people. I'm almost 60 years old, and I have never seen things the way they are as they are today. It's been where you love everybody, you help your neighbor, and it doesn't matter who you are, what color you are. You go and you help if you can. But all the negativity, I think, is just wrong. I think it's wrong what they're doing to our president. I think that, I don't think he's a racist. I think he has helped us. I think that the Democratic Party is doing everything they can to destroy what Trump has tried to build up in the last 3 years. I saw where there was even a bill that was passed in 2012 to where propaganda, where they actually do scenarios where they set up these things to happen in different places with actors, but then real people and real families are destroyed. The only other thing I was going to talk about was the policeman on the horse. You know, I think it was in, I think that probably they have done it in the past. It's part of their protocol, but now is not the time for all that to happen. I think that in all reality, as bad as everything's going right now, I think they should have moved this man away from what was going on and sit there and waited for a car, because, you know, somebody was going to pick that up and make a great big deal out of it when it didn't have to be. But I do thank you for all that you do, and I will talk to you again in another time. Thanks so much, ABL.
Thank you for the call.
Bye.
Definitely appreciate you. All right now.
Bye.
All right, great call. Shout out to her. You know, great call. You know, the thing about the guy on the horse, I think they did it right, personally. No, that's my only thing. I think they did the right thing, because you don't want to start to make like special little, you know, like exceptions for people based on their race. I think we should treat everybody the same. So, you know, they say they're going to change it, but I don't know. I think that we shouldn't go down the road of starting to change stuff, because once that happens, it's just like when you like Mario Lopez, when he apologized for the whole transgender comments. You know, like once you give him an inch, take a mile. It ain't going to just be that. It's going to be more. But that was a great call, and shout out to her for calling. Let me get to a few more here. All right, Shreves, what's happening?
ABL, can you hear me?
I hear you well.
Oh, thank God, man. The Skype net has a mind of its own, man.
Yeah, it does.
You just change, hey, I'm going to install. I'm going to change your microphone. Like, what are you doing? A lot of good calls tonight, man. A lot of good calls. And it's a lot of serious topics, too. So, but I applaud everybody that's calling in. Just different angles and opinions on stuff. The Greek immigrant caller, shout out to him. That was a good call. I like that a lot.
That's a great call. Absolutely.
It makes me feel good, you know, about me and my family too. You know, what we did to come here, because I definitely agree with them about if they take the second away, they'll take the first away, because there's nothing else protecting you, basically.
That's right.
You know, I mean, the next step is basically getting loaded up on and put in cages ourselves. So we don't want to give anybody, you know, especially, you know, the government full control, because then they're going to start controlling our thoughts like they do in UK. So would you agree?
I'm right there with you, man. Absolutely.
Yep. So, and obviously, you know, this whole thing with the fear mongering. I mean, would you call it fear mongering? I would call it fear mongering. With the Dayton, Ohio, with the latest shootings and stuff like that. Yeah.
Well, it's all an attempt to just push gun control regulation, gun reform, and also to try and impeach the president, because they want to say, oh, the president's a white supremacist and he emboldened the shooters, therefore it's his fault. It's just a political tactic at this point.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm seeing as. And you know what? No matter what or who they were bad people, regardless. I think a lot of people just need to look at that too. Aside from the fact that, you know, the Dayton, Ohio guy, obviously he was an Antifa Satanist or whatever the heck he was, you know. And the guy in El Paso, you know, and nobody shoot the messenger, okay? I did a lot of research on it, you know, posted some stuff up in the ABL Discord for people to read, but they were talking about, you know, multiple shooters in El Paso, everybody wearing black. So the last caller, I think her name is Janie, you know, she was right. They were saying there was multiple shooters in black. I do think it was a distraction, and the 8chan owner himself said that the manifesto wasn't actually uploaded by the shooter himself.
He did say that. Yeah, I saw that.
So yeah, and that's something I just saw. Again, don't shoot the messenger. I'm just relaying information I was looking at. You know, that's being said. The whole red flag, you know, law is. I do think that's a dangerous slope. I think it's kind of like, for me, it's like the start of the ending. Just because you can, you know, doctors obviously they get paid to endorse drugs and basically diagnose anybody with anything. So you can get hit with like ADHD, you know, and that's a mental disorder. Are you going to put everybody, you know, are you going to red flag those guys?
That's a very good point. Absolutely, because all it takes is, okay, doctor, I want you to tell this person they have that, and then I'm going to just use that to go and just violate their rights, basically.
Yeah, exactly. And that's, to me, that's like the start of the ending. Because again, just like the Greek caller, you know, called, I hate to say it like that, but the guy from Greece, you know, once that's gone, the first is, that's the only thing that's protecting. Once that's out, you got nothing. They're going to be knocking on our doors like in the UK. Hey, thought police, you're getting thrown in jail for thoughts.
That's right.
That's some bad stuff. Also, I agree with the last caller too, because she was saying, don't lose sight of what's really going on, because I do think it's a lot of diversion, and basically don't lose sight of Epstein. How Florida's kind of looking into how he got off easy. I guess they're looking at the whole case again. That's something that was in the news I saw. How he got off with like a light sentence the first time around. So
yeah,
I think they're taking eyes off of Epstein, off of Baltimore, the whole thing there, and the socialism aspects of it. And again, like she said, how are you going to badmouth people that are actually going out there in the community doing well, for them?
Yeah, but they don't want that, because one thing about the left, one thing about Democrats in general, is that they want to kind of keep you in a state of dependency, in a state of despair. So you're always going to be reaching out to them to try and fix it. That's pretty much how they operate. So if someone comes in with a solution that goes against their whole thing that they're trying to do, it's not good.
Yeah, and they always say, these people will cause a problem, and I say these people, I mean, the higher powers that be, the elites or whatever, NW or whatever you want to call them, they want to cause a problem, provide their solution, so you rely on them, just like you said, and that's just how the ball bounces. I think that, we're kind of, it's ironic to me that these people are saying, hey, we need to be safer, we don't trust the government, but here you are trying to hand your guns to, literally Hitler.
right, exactly.
So you want to actually hand over more power to the government that you're supposedly fighting against, and so really you're not raging against the machine, you're raging with it, which is sad to me, because a lot of these kids are doing that, But yeah, I mean, that's just kind of my aspects of it. I think that people kind of just need to keep an eye out, because a lot of it is distraction. You know what they're going to push and what they're going to what kind of rhetoric they're going to push out there. So just keep your eyes open, people. Don't lose sight of the bigger stories and see what they're actually trying to divert your eyes from.
100%.
All right. So that's it. Just my thoughts on it. And, again, go out and support Anton Tucker, www.tucker.vote. Have a chance to get AOC out. Everybody in here, I'm sure, doesn't like socialism. So unless you're one of the haters out there. And we love you, too. You too, Ivan. I think Ivan just likes to call in to take the L's, ABL.
I think so, man, because you keep getting right every time you call in. So it must be some kind of thing. I don't know.
It's a love. He loves to hate you. He calls in. He's just like, give me an L, ABL. Shout out to you, Ivan. All right. Peace and love, everybody. Just stay safe out there. Eyes open, like I said. Just keep your eyes open for the real stories that are going on, and don't lose sight of the good things, okay? Stay together.
All right. Thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
Absolutely. Peace, ABL.
Peace. All right. Thank you to my man Shreves for the call. Most certainly appreciate him. All righty. Now, thank y'all for being in here. We still got quite a few in the building. It's 10:30 p.m. over here on the East Coast. Well, not coast, but Eastern time zone. And I'll be going until 11 p.m. Eastern. So you guys can go ahead and call on in. The number to call is 434-658-1220. All right. Let me get to my next call. 240, your line. I'm speaking to.
Hello?
Yes, 240. Can you hear me? All right.
I have a question.
All right, go ahead. Okay, caller, before you ask your question, I got a lot of noise in the background. Can you turn it off for me?
The shooting that recently happened, I think it's really coincidental that the two shootings took place in Ohio and Texas, like where the Democrats need to win in 2020. Like, what are your thoughts on that? Don't you feel like that's coincidental?
I didn't even think about that, but it definitely is a coincidence for sure, because they're trying to turn Texas blue. That's really a big push for that. And, of course, Beto O'Rourke is from El Paso, and it happened in El Paso, and the guy came all the way from Central Texas, like a 10-hour drive. It's not close at all. And then Ohio, yeah, it's definitely a coincidence for sure, because Ohio is a swing state.
I have one more question. So I had a debate with my mom, and I told her that, Trump put black unemployment rate, but like, can you give me like evidence how Donald Trump created the record low black unemployment?
Well, I mean, just look at his actual policies on business, reducing the tax burden on business owners. I know when he did that, I think it might have been in 2017, like that Christmas season. All these employees got all kind of crazy bonuses at their job, like $1,000 each in some of these companies. Just incentivizing business to do business here in America rather than overseas. You're bringing jobs back. You're revitalizing a lot of jobs. And the tax burden is not just for the uber rich. It's for just regular people that have businesses in low income areas. Because I know when I was a youngin', I was like maybe like in my early 20s. And I was in this body shop I was in a little oil change place, and the guy just talked to me randomly. It was an older black guy. He talked to me about taxes just randomly. He was like, "Man, these taxes are too heavy, man. I'm in the hood. I got a business. It's a lot on my back. I can't really get anything done because the taxes are too high." And he said it was kind of a racially based thing because you can tax somebody out of a particular place from having the high taxes and bring other people in. That's called gentrification. So a lot of that gentrification can be reduced, and you can still have development without necessarily moving somebody out because of the lack of ability to come up with the money. So the tax burden, reducing that helps all people, not just super rich, but regular people just trying to make a living, mom and pop style.
All right, thank you. I'm sorry for being a little bit shy. Sorry.
Oh, it's all good, man.
Yeah.
It's all good.
Thank you.
Thank you for the call. All right. All right. Shout out to the caller. No, I didn't say chop shop. I think I said body shop at first, but it was not a body shop. It was one of those Valvoline type places, oil change type places. I'm sitting in there minding my business, and I'm just, he came up to me and just talked to me. I felt like it was somebody that was sent by the man upstairs because that was like one of my first red pill moments. Super random. I wasn't saying anything. I never seen that man before in my life. But he came up to me and he planted that seed in my head, and it just started to grow over time. That was one of my first red pill moments. It took a while for that to really process, but I always go back to that when he was talking about the taxes and how it really impacts people in a negative way, especially in low income environments. But let me get to my next call. 214, you're online. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, what's up, man? This is Tariq, man.
All right, Tariq, what's happening?
Not much, man. I just got to talk about this shooting, man, especially in El Paso, man. I feel like just the way Donald Trump was immediately blamed for this, it's almost as if they had a script ready. And I feel like liberals don't care about these shootings. They just politicize it because I feel like they were sitting around saying, yes, it's finally a white man that kills a bunch of minorities. Now we can just link this to Donald Trump. You know what I'm saying? Because it just seems like it's unified. And there's no proof that Donald Trump is causing these shooters to happen, and I think it's just so unfair and disingenuous for them to just say Donald Trump's at fault. He needs to apologize. It's almost as just taking the eyes off of the shooter and then putting it towards Donald Trump. And to me, this is just all for 2020 political purposes and for gun grabbing. And I honestly think with Donald Trump caving a little bit to his speech, what's happening is, liberals are masters at using people's emotions, man. So it's just like, with this constant, it's your fault, you are causing people to die. Unless you are very, strong-minded, what I'm saying, you may just cave. And I don't know, man, what is that paper? I think it's the New York Post, coming out. It's a conservative outlet coming out talking about it's time to ban assault rifles. It's things like that. And I feel like a lot of conservatives cave. You know what I'm saying? So I just feel like Donald Trump is alone out here, which is why he's caving, man. But like I said, liberals, I don't think they care about these shootings, man. I honestly think they all see this as a political opportunity for votes.
As soon as it was reported, they were already talking about, we got to ban guns, we got to ban white supremacy. Like, I'm talking about, they didn't even know who the guy was. As soon as it happened, like, they were already, like, they don't care about just waiting a little bit to see any information and evidence. Nope, straight into the gun control and white supremacy arguments.
Yeah, and even with the Dayton, Ohio shooter, I mean, it's almost as if that was just an annoyance that happened because they're not really talking about that. They can't really link that to quote unquote white supremacy. You know what I'm saying? So it's almost as if that one didn't even exist. It's just like some annoyance. But Yeah, man. It's just this is the narrative being set, and really, this is just targeting minorities. I think they are trying to work on the Latino voter. Trying to get the same way they already got the black voter. So it's the Latino voter next, and it's conflating. It's crazy. They continue to conflate legal immigration with illegal immigration, and honestly, this is designed for us to not even talk about illegal immigration, because if you notice, the Democrats really don't have an answer for this problem, man. They are very bad on this topic. So if they can shroud it around racism, this will actually stop people from talking about it, and the problem can persist. This is why they keep saying Donald Trump using words like invasion. So what? I mean, that's a fact. You can still be against illegal immigration and tell the truth. No one is saying go out and kill illegal immigrants. I haven't heard Donald Trump say that one time. If he said that, then you have a point. But just to point it out and say because he said invasion, and then this dude who did the shooting in El Paso said invasion in his what do they call it?
A manifesto.
I forget what it is. Yeah, man. Donald Trump is liable. Come on, man. Like, people were talking about invasion of illegal immigrants for years, especially if you live down south in Texas. Even the black people talk about that, man. But the black people, they are a little bit more politically incorrect. Like, they straight up saying Mexicans is coming over. So it's like, come on, man. Like, this is not even something that people shocked at. But yeah, man, this is 2020, and I just want to say this, man. When 2020 comes down, like I told you before, I think we need to be prepared for a mass censorship of conservative voices, man, or anyone who criticizes any of the Democrat candidates, man, because these people are desperate, man. I mean, like, they talk about, it's crazy. Just really quick on this shooting thing. They talk about Trump not bringing the country together. But I don't know if you realize when he made that speech, right, in response to the shootings, the New York Times put up a headline saying Donald Trump calls for unity. Don't you know that these liberals were complaining about that?
Yeah.
And the New York Times folded. And what did they say? Go ahead.
Yeah, they changed the headline. Like, the headline was something that could bring everybody together. And the liberals are like, nope, that ain't it. So they changed it.
Exactly, bro. They don't want this country to come together. They benefit off of this. Everyone's sexist, racist, homophobe, so that when certain minority demographics and women can support them for votes. That is it. And I wish, the minority population would wake up, especially the black voters, because you can call Trump a racist all day long. How is that fixing Baltimore, bro? How is that stopping violence in Chicago? Like, all these black politicians do just come out, Trump is a racist. Like, we've been hearing this for 3 years, man. Yeah. What has changed for the black community? I don't even see a strategy behind this.
Right.
Like, it's getting, like, played out. But, yeah, man, that's pretty much all I want to say, man. I know you got a bunch of callers, bro.
Thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
All right, man. Take care, man.
All right, peace. All right, that's a great call from my man Tariq, as always. And I appreciate you guys for being here. So here's what he was talking about as far as New York Times changing their headline. So the initial headline said, Trump urges unity versus racism, and it drew swift backlash from critics who noted that the El Paso shooter espoused some of Trump's rhetoric and the president's inflammatory racial statements. I'm not really sure what he said aside from invasion, like, what Tariq was saying. Everybody says that. The headline on the paper, second edition, was changed to assailing hate but not guns. So first it was more, unifying and positive. Then it was, nope, orange man bad. That's pretty much what it is. Okay. And Trump, of course, had something about it, which, it makes sense to say something about it because you're seeing clear bias against the current president. It's obvious at this point. All right, caller, you on the line, 619. Who am I speaking to?
Hi, Anthony and audience. This is Sharon in San Diego. Hope everyone's doing well this evening. The program is very, very good. I'm really inspired that there's so many people now that are obviously critically thinking. There was a lady about 3 or 4 calls back that was talking about how there were coincidences between the timing of the shootings and how it's being covered, so on and so forth. I think she was basically referring to dog whistling, and I think perhaps this is something that's happening where a lot of these, it's mostly young men, no women yet. We see young men that are all usually around about the same age, under 30, that are loners. They have a profile. And I don't know if there's some way that people are accessing them, whether through the internet, because, you know, folks, they can work with our keystrokes. They know where we're going and what sites we're looking at. I don't know if these people are being watched or monitored, perhaps. But I say this to say that about the young man in Texas. Now, I noticed something very distinct about him. First of all, again, we have a young single male. I noticed something peculiar. The ear cover-ups, the earphones. I haven't heard anyone say, what was that about? What were the earphones about? About. I didn't hear anything about perhaps 3 other shooters except tonight on this program. I started thinking back. How was he dressed more distinctly from the other guys where you would remember him? He wore different color pants. Everybody else had on black. They're running around. Nobody's really looking at them because this guy is dressed differently. So eyes are going to him. That's probably going to be the one that they remember because he was dressed differently. Just stop and think about that. This is one big distraction again for the Democrats. Remember, they always have to have 5 different things going on the hand, 5 different distractions. They tried to give us Epstein, telling us about him. We heard about Epstein 5 years ago. I noticed that stories about Epstein are being recycled to us every week now. They're not really giving us new information. They're just giving us information about him again to pull us off to start looking at him and thinking about him. So what? Now we go back to Dayton, Ohio. Now we have another young man I think he's under 30 years old, single, no girlfriend, used to spend a lot of time on the internet. Again, was he dog whistled? Was somebody in the internet with him, or maybe the chat rooms he was going to? Someone was monitoring him. And what guy drives his sister where she's going to die? What is that? Okay, let's start to think about it. Are a lot of these people being sacrificed? Are they being sacrificed? The Democrats are sacrificing them because the Democrats want to maintain that power. And they will do anything. We're seeing it now. They will do anything. They will lie to your face. Black folks, they'll pander to. Everybody else, they're pandering to. And then they're going to throw us out 2 or 3 other distractions. And that just keeps you in this whirlwind where you can't get your senses together because everything's happening so quickly. But then again, ABL, you've got the critical thinkers in the house. Now they're starting to piece this out and say, a lot of young men have said, these are distractions. The key word we keep hearing on your show, I hear, because I'm paying attention, is distractions, 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 power, power, power. So now people are beginning to get it. I will say this, and then I know there are other people in the room. Baltimore is a sad scenario for African Americans. When you have to have the white president come tell you that your city is nasty and dirty and infested with rats and crimes, that's sad because that means you don't value where you live. You couldn't, because if you did, you would keep your neighborhoods clean for your children and your families. But because you don't value who you are, you're looking for Elijah to come in to rescue you. He's feathering he and his wife's nest. They could care less. That, like I said, that's a bad scenario for African Americans. It makes us look bad because we're relying on someone else to come clean up our nasty, dirty neighborhood and then have the nerve to get mad about it. We talk about it all the time amongst one another. But when we get mad when somebody else not looking like us calls us on it because we look bad, and we don't want to look bad. We really don't. we get real upset about it. And we're ready to fight you and call you some of everything. This clown's been around for how many years? Everything has gone in a completely different direction. And now they're coming back telling you how upset they are because the neighborhood's nasty. But you have continued to put this guy back in office. What's wrong with you? Or what is it saying now? Who does this? Who does this over and over and over again? Who would do this? Who would do this? But a lot of Americans see this with Donald Trump as the last hurrah for our country. And we see it going south fast. And again, as many of your callers have already said tonight, the beginning is the taking of the guns. Once you take the guns, that's it. And it really doesn't matter who's in power, whether it's a Republican or a Democrat. And if you don't like what the Republicans are doing, oh, too bad. But all of a sudden you don't like what the Democrats are doing either, too bad, because you've given up your guns. And this is the strategy. The end game is taking your guns. Once they take the guns, what's next? As a young man said about 5 or 6, what's next? Because trust me, they're thinking 5, 6, 7, 10, 15 strategies ahead of you. So you always have to think smarter. You don't want to work harder with the deal. You want to think smarter so you can come up with those scenarios. So next time we see a shooting, gun control. They're getting ready to do the refresh. They're going to hit the button, gun control. We're going to hear this as nauseum. We're going to hear it till we just can't stand it anymore. But I'll say this and I'll be gone. We've got to stop allowing ourselves to be manipulated and have people play head games on us. Because for a lot of us, the gig is up because we understand what the game is. But we just have to wait for everybody else to come into the room to recognize it. You're one of the inspirations that is doing that. And I appreciate you so much. You and several other individuals, and you all are doing well on your site. And I'm so happy for all of you because you're the ones that are bringing us the flip side of the coin. And please, I'm the boomer in San Diego. We need this, not just for me, but for young people like you. Young people like you, because you're the future. You're the future of our country. My time has come and almost maybe gone. I don't know. But I've done mine. I earned mine. I lived my life. I raised my child. I have grandchildren and great-grandchildren. But for young people now, this is the time for you to get busy and start thinking. Because all of this, if you don't handle it correctly, this can turn around on you. And it won't be very pretty. All right, ABLers, thanks so much. Glad to hear from all of you. We had a lot of good calls tonight. And I've been calling, but I was determined. I was determined to get in. Good night, everybody. Everybody take care, and let's just pray for us because we need it. All right, Anthony. Good night.
Thank you for the call. Definitely appreciate you.
All righty. Good night.
Well, great call. I don't have too much more to add. That was a fantastic call. All right, you guys. I got super chats to read, and then I'm going to get to maybe 2 more calls, and then I got to wrap it up and put a nice bow on top. So super chats. Thank you to Monster Blood XO, who says, thank you, ABL, for talking with me. Ain't no problem. First timer, sorry, I was nervous. I was calling for a long time. I got caught off guard when you picked up. Yeah, that happens to people. Sometimes it kind of heart be racing a little bit, but I'm glad you're able to get on. You did a good job. It was a good call. Thank you to Luigi2K, who says support and best wishes to ABL, a voice of reason. Hey, I thank you for that. Most certainly appreciate it. Thank you to Lori 00, who says, thanks, Anthony. Well, thank you for your support and your donation. Thank you to Kevin Duggan, who says, silence us. Fox has disabled comments 24/7 for politics. That's interesting. But thank you for that. Thank you to Toys and Games with Sophia, who says, you are so professional. Love your channel. Well, I try to be. I thank you for your recognition and your donation. Definitely appreciate you. Thank you to Blonde Brain 93, who says, thank you for your hard work. ABL MSNBC said that O'Rourke will gain campaign momentum from the tragedy, which is disgusting. What is your opinion? Yeah, that is pretty nasty, but he will do it. I mean, it's in El Paso. That's where he's from. Yeah, it'll gain him a little bit more attention, but I think it won't even really make a difference at the end of the day because his campaign is polling in the toilet. So he may get a little bit more traction, but it won't be enough to, put him over the hump, basically. Thank you to Sean Mayer, who says, red flag laws, yay or nay. Like I said earlier, I'm not a fan of red flag laws because nobody can guarantee me that it won't be abused. As it stands right now, I think red flag laws can be abused, and I think that's a bad idea. Although the red flag laws could save some people in certain cases, like in the Parkland situation, I think it'd be more harm than good. So as it stands right now, I'm against it. And let me see. I got everybody. So thank you all for the super chats. Definitely appreciate you. I got time for a couple more calls. SOBC, what's happening?
Hey, what's going on, ABL? How are you?
Everything's great, man. Can't complain.
Oh, great. Speaking of red flag laws, in my state, when that red flag law passed, I took off all the pro-gun stickers of my car because I'm not ready for that.
Yeah, I'm with you. So you don't want anybody to, identify you as somebody as a gun owner and, falsely say something about you.
Exactly. So yeah. So anyway, I just wanted to comment on Ivan. Ivan reminds me, liberals are very good at moving the goalpost. Very good. You were talking about Elijah Cummings' district, right?
Correct.
And he was talking about Baltimore City.
Mm-hmm.
And you kept going back and forth, and it just didn't get in his head. That just reminds me of what Al Sharpton was doing. Did you see that press conference he held in Baltimore?
No, I didn't.
And he said Elijah Cummings' city is one of the most educated cities in the country. Districts is one of the most educated districts in the country. That was ridiculous. Trump was not talking about Elijah Cummings' district. He was talking about Baltimore City and parts of Baltimore that are nasty.
Right. Like Trump was talking about Elijah Cummings' district, which is in Baltimore, West Baltimore to be exact. He was talking about Baltimore County or Howard County. That's what Al Sharpton was talking about. Oh, it's great. Yeah, if you go out to the county. But what about West Baltimore? That is the actual point. But see, like you said, they moved the goalposts pretty well.
Exactly. That's so funny. So I went out to my county had a little fair here. People go out, activities, and kids. It's just mainly a kids thing, So I took my son out there to go have some fun, and I saw a lot of Jewish kids with yarmulkes on, wearing Trump 2020 shirts, which was amazing. I was super excited. And there's a Gen Z kids. Gen Z is going to re-elect Trump.
Yeah.
Yeah. Gen Z, I think Gen Z, I was reading an article on Bloomberg, I think, and they were talking about how Gen Z is they're very precautious about going to college. They don't want to accumulate debt, because they see what's happening to millennials, So I think Gen Z is going to be the generation to look out for. I saw a lot of kids with Trump 2020 hats, shirts. It was amazing.
Oh, yeah. Like a lot of these kids are really aware politically. They know more than I did when I was that age. I didn't know much about politics at all, but these kids know what's going on. They're sharp. And I think you're right. They're going to be the ones that are going to get Trump back in the office. Mm-hmm. They're not looking to these Democrats with their old school ways of doing things, the intimidation and shaming language. They're not looking at that. They're looking at Trump. They think he's cool. They like what he's doing. Yeah, I think you're right about that.
Right. And speaking of Jews, I just want to piggyback off the caller earlier around, I think this was the second hour of your show, and he was talking about how Hitler is not a racist. And I agree with him. Hitler is not a racist. He was not a racist. I'm going to pull a Jesse Lee Peterson here and say that racism does not exist. It's never existed. I'm not going to use Jesse Lee Peterson's point of view coming from the Bible. I'm not going to use that religious or Christian point of view. I'm going to use a practical point of view. Hitler did not hate Jews because they were Jews. He hated them because they were successful. They were successful in banking. They owned a lot of. They were running things back then. So that's one of the main reasons he hated the Jews. And if you look at our current situation now, most black people here in America, they hate white people not because they're white. They hate them because of this perception of success. They view white people as successful, having privilege, getting all these loans, going to all these schools, and getting all these things that are not available to people of color. It's that hate, it's that jealousy. It's not because they're white. It's just because they think that white people have access to these things that they don't have access to. And the opposite applies to the same applies to the white people that hate black people, right?
Yeah.
They don't hate black people because they're black. They hate black people because of the things they see, the things they see on TV. Maybe they've come across a black person who did certain things to them, talked to them a certain way, or did something to them. So to me, it's something internal. Racism is more external. It's a more external physical thing. And that's why you see that's why people cannot find a solution to fixing racism. So what do you think about that?
I don't know. That's a lot to unpack. I'm not really sure if I'm all the way with it, but I see where you're coming from.
Yeah, so racism has never existed. It's just a term that was used to, I guess, control white people and control the masses and divide and conquer. It's an internal thing. You'll notice people that for example, you'll see a black person. A white person might come up and stand up and say, hey, speak up the truth to them and tell them to do something, and they'll view that as racism. And yet it's just their insecurity, it's just their ego, it's just that that perception they have within them, that they think that that white person is coming from, that white person is racist, or they're saying the things they're saying because they're racist.
Right.
But anyway, I just thought I would share that. I would just like to see what the chat would say about that.
Well, I thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
All right, ABL. Great show. Keep up the great work, man.
All right. Thank you.
All right.
Well, that'll be a wrap. I'm sorry if you couldn't get on, but I got to go. It's 11:01 p.m. Eastern time, and I got super chats to read, and then I got to bounce. So if you cannot get on right now, I'm sorry. I apologize. Try next time. I'll be back live again Saturday. Same bat time, same bat place, 8 p.m. Eastern to 11 p.m. Eastern. Same channel that you're watching right now. And if you are not subscribed, please do so. I don't know what you're waiting on. Hit that subscribe button right up under the video, and then click the bell right beside it. So maybe the bell works. Shout out to the caller earlier who said the bell does work. Maybe it doesn't, but click the bell so you get notified whenever I go live or post a new video. You get a direct notification. Also, I got merch. You can check out my hats. I got shirts, all that good stuff in the description box, and also right up under the video. And then what else do I have? Let me see. I think that's pretty much it. Oh, super chats. I got to read those right quick. And then we'll go ahead and keep on rocking. Thank you to Shreebs, who says, stay safe, everyone. Cut the grass low so you see the snakes coming. Support my homie Antoine Tucker for New York City 14. Get AOC out. Tucker.vote. Salute. Thank you for your donation, man. Definitely appreciate you. Thank you to Psalm 91, who says, keep it up, Mr. Logan. Will do. Thank you to my man Snap Turtle, who says, there is a concentrated effort to eradicate the Second Amendment using white males as the face of domestic terrorism. You got it. That's what I'm talking about. You're woke. You understand what's going on. 100%. They're using the whole thing about white supremacy, all this, that, and the third to push forward gun laws that are going to affect all of us as Americans. Thank you for your donation. And I think that is everybody right there. So that'll be a wrap for me tonight. Thank y'all for joining. Again, I'll be live again Saturday night, 8 p.m. Eastern to 11 p.m. Eastern. And I'm here also every Wednesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern to 11 p.m. Eastern. Call-in show, all that good stuff. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the show. Shout out to the moderators right quick. We got Elijah Jean. We got T-Pain. We got Protocol, Big Guy Streets. We got Bill from the Hills, Ansel, Michelle A. Thank y'all for being here. I think I see you, Zealand Zen, in the chat. All you guys, thank you guys for what you do at the time. Definitely appreciate you. And that is all I got. So until next time, y'all be safe. I'm out. And peace.